What I make you? Good? You're not good. What I make you? Good? You're not good.
Lagging or what? What is going on? Man, you already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. Hit a wonderful good, man, and for the lagging, hit a 2. I need to know what's going on. Why is my intros lagging? Y'all can hear me good. You can see me good. No lags. Okay, Lincoln Hawk said all good. Let's see what we got in here tonight. Preston Gale, Devonator, Lashim M, J, Lincoln Hawk, Matt C, Straight Shooting. What up from Maine? What up for you, man? Bam K Dog, Jesus Sanchez. I got food stamps for sale. I know that's right. What's up to my guy Crop? My homeboy Southside Frog. Sound cute by the foot. What's up, Ronnie? A lot of people. Let y'all pile in real quick. Y'all get in real quick. So Southside Frog, I think I've told y'all before, that's my homeboy, right? Like I've known Frog 36, 35, 36 years, right? He calls me this morning, 6 something, right at 7. Knows I'm asleep. So if somebody calls you that early, the first thing you think is something's wrong, right? So I'm like, man, what? So I answer the phone, what's up? Marcus White, salute, man. And thank you for the super chat. I said, what's up, man? He said, man, I'm in jail. I said, you're in jail? You're in trouble forever. What are you in jail for? He said, man, got to argue with the baby mama. She sent some dudes over here. Well, I'm lagging. Yeah, I'm lagging bad. Make sure I'm closed out everywhere else. Y'all give me a second. Can you still hear me? Yeah, it's lagging. Let me see if it'll let me switch over. Hold on. We have to go with another avenue. And I'm hooked up to the Ethernet. Make it make sense. Oh, let's try that. Now I just got to do a couple things. We're rocking with the green screen then. Let me go ahead and close this one out. Well, that sucks. Gotta hate that. All right, so let me change things up real quick. I'm gonna have to readjust. It just sucks because with the phone you can't see the comments like you can with the laptop. So I'm gonna leave y'all here for a second. And give me 1 second. Let me try to do this again. Let me try to go back in. So what's happening, y'all? I'm just working on getting the camera straight. Okay. There we go. Cool. All right, let me do something real quick. Y'all chill. Boney Tony's in the car with his bony ass. Here we go. We go back down here. All right, let's see what we got. All right, there we go, man. Everything seems to be straight. It's still lagging. We'll give it a second. Let me check my connection. Everything seems to be good. All right, I think we're all right. Yeah, we're just going with the other one. In 1 second, we're just gonna go with the other one. He says the background. It can't be the background. No, it's the computer. Let's go with this one then. See if that makes any difference. Same thing. All right, here we go. All right, so with no green screen tonight. I didn't want to do it with just the green screen because everything's under construction. So green screen's up so we don't tear the wall up. There we go. We're just gonna rock like this. Appreciate y'all hanging out for that, man. That was a mess. So Fraud calls me at 7 o'clock this morning, right? Says he's in jail. I'm waking up. I said, man, you in jail? Yeah, I'm locked up. For what? He says, me and the baby mama got to arguing. She sent 2 guys over here. I heard them. I said, what do you need me to do? He said, I don't need no money. I don't need you to borrow me. Just come get me. I guess it's one of them G-check things, right? Where somebody just wants to see where you stand with your friendships. I said, all right, man, let me get out of bed. Where you at? He said, I'm just joking, man. I'm at work. Have a nice day. Come on, man. Come on, man. Colerick said, remember the story about having to kick a cellmate out for saying another butter was like an orgasm in his mouth? Yeah, Jimmy. I don't remember the video, but yeah, I remember you talking about dude Jimmy I was in the cell with. Weird dude, man. And then for bashing mailboxes. K Tanner said you may need to upgrade that setup to run okay with the green screen program.
maybe so, but it's always rain. I mean, I run an Asus. I mean, I run a tough Asus A17, right? That's my laptop. It's a gaming laptop. And I've never had no issues. It's a great laptop. But, yeah, I don't know. I think for real, I think I pinched the Ethernet cord. That's what I think happened. Said I can't tell you how many lives I've seen where the host can't figure out how to get the camera back to landscape. Props, Jay, I appreciate it. It ain't hard. Trust me, it ain't hard. Okay. And I've been in here, man. I've been busy. I just got back into this room. I've been at another part of the house. Still a good sized room, but it was one of our guest rooms. And this room here it's amazing. Like you go out the door and you got the hot tub area, you got a lounge area, you go down the steps, you got the pool. So it's just really good for what I got coming up. I want to start doing these interviews, right? But some I'm gonna do through StreamYard via the camera, and there's some I want to do in person. I want to like sit down and actually do the interview and get a more authentic feel. So this gives me the opportunity to do that. I generally don't like the idea of bringing people to my house, but I'm generally not gonna have anybody around me that I don't like to begin with. So Kelly and Titan, a big salute. I drive 18-wheelers all night. I can't lie. I depend on your videos to keep me up. 3 a.m. rolls around for the days my dumb ass don't get enough sleep. Salute to you, man. Salute to you and all the long haul truck drivers. Man. Y'all's job is real. Y'all's job is next level real shit. James said, will you do an interview with a CEO? Absolutely. Absolutely. Ben Hardy, shout out for Philadelphia. MS, you still considering writing a book? Think it give you a chance to help people and give you some passive income too. When it's time, it'll take place. I don't think now's the time. I want to write my book. Like, I'm not a writer or anything, but I really think that I could write my book. Let me rephrase that. Like I used to do music, so I know how to write. And I did some short writing, like during my stints, but I definitely want to write my own book. Big E, you heard from Woody lately? Man, Woody he just bought a house, man. I think Woody got out in 22. I've got a painting that Woody sent me that's autographed 22. So I think Woody got out in 22 and he just bought a house, man. So shout out to Woody. Yeah, I talked to Woody here and there. Tiger Shark Driver, are you free and clear out of prison time? I'm done with all that. That's all behind me. We got it out the way. Still do probation. But John Blount, good one from Japan. Jay, content is one thing, but the fact you are so personal on camera is what is admirable. Happy to see you living life. I appreciate it, man. K-Tona, AJ, do you prefer to get donos tonight? I like donos every night, but you ain't got to pay to be here. And I'm not going to ask you for nothing, man. No, if you want to donate, that's awesome of you. Thank you. But it's not required. I'm okay. But hey, I like money too. Cooley High said to answer what's next. You and your family prosper. That's what's next. Listen to the new Paul Wall, riding to the top down, and you understand. Keep doing your thing. Peace. Now there's a whole lot that happens next. The stepping away from construction was scary. It's so scary, but I'm so stubborn that, especially when you tell your wife you're gonna do something, you know what I mean? If you just think something, you can go back on it. If you're like, man, I ain't going back to that job ever again, you can always backpedal. But when you start telling other people, then it's set in stone. And I'm stubborn as it is. Once I make my mind up, it's hard to change my mind. But getting away from the construction was, it was great. I'm not gonna lie, it's great. It's great to be here with the kids. It's great to, I think we forget how much time we miss out of our kids' lives going to work every day. I think anybody that raises kids, pause, can agree that the majority of your week, if you work, is spent at work. You get home, it's a couple hours, you catch a little TV, a little time with the kids, you go to sleep. Doing YouTube full time, I get to really, really be there, like full time. You know, there in the mornings, like making breakfast and lunch, and hey, y'all want to go get in the pool? Y'all want to do this? Y'all get y'all's bikes. Let's go on a bike ride. Like, it's cool, man. It's really good. And I guess I forgot that I've always been, like I told y'all last time, I've always been that guy that has to have a whole bunch of stuff going on all at once, right? Like, I've always got to have a whole bunch of stuff going on. But I don't have to. I really don't have to. I put myself in a position where I don't have to do that. And it's kind of remedial at this point to even be doing that. People used to ask me back in the day, they're like, you get up and go to work every day? You get up and go to, how much money you make on YouTube? And I tell them, they'd be like, man, you're tripping. And you're leaving your house to go work for what? And I would always justify it. I always found a way to justify it. I'm a worker. That's all I know is working with my hands. It's because you blow up on YouTube don't mean that you stop doing what you know to do. All I've ever known is fix things, you know, carpentry, electrical, plumbing, you name it. That's all I've ever known. And now I don't have to do that. It's a great feeling, huh? It's a great feeling. But it's an even better feeling to know that as much as I messed my life up, I always worked and I picked up trades along the way. So even though YouTube is my main source of income now, and it's amazing what I can do with what I do. It's good to know that if I ever needed to go back and use my hands again, I can. Pause, Brown. Keep staying positive, y'all. I've been having a rough couple of weeks and it hasn't been getting any better. Yeah, I'm kind of bitching. Sorry. Hey, pause, man. I hope things get better for you. That's a fact. Lex D, have you received your YouTube play yet? I received that a long time ago, years ago. I think I got that in 21. So next is continue with the content. Adam Choi, what's good, my guy? Seeing you called, man. My bad. What's next is continue with the content and continue to push more content. I got a fire video coming tomorrow. I know y'all gonna enjoy it. Let me just tell you this much. It involves swastikas and doo-doo. Don't demonetize my video for that. But that's what tomorrow's video, that's the main basis of the video. There's a whole lot more than that. But just know that tomorrow's video has got those two things in it. Swastikas and doo-doo, man. So anyways. Like, I'll tell you this much. We had a dude show up at a place I was at, and I don't know where he came from. He interstate compacted in here. So what that means is they took an inmate from another state and sent them here. Like somebody, I guess, that lived in Virginia or had serious ties to Virginia, they'll ship them here to do their time. And if we got an inmate here in Virginia doing time that says from that same state, they'll swap them out. And I guess where this dude was at, prison was predominantly white, and you could just walk around with that type of stuff on display. And where I was at, it was a bad thing that he showed up like that, really bad. And I guess him having a little size, he thought he could do what he was doing at the last camp. And yeah, you ain't in Oz no more. And this ain't Toto, that ain't Dorothy. Like, yeah, it's a whole lot of lions and they ain't Carolee around here. But I think y'all enjoy it, man. I'm excited to tell it. And I've got another video that I've really been debating. And I don't know if I talked about this, but I've really been debating doing the video just because of like the serious nature of the video. So I think I want to dig a little bit more and see what the overall outcome of it was before I speak on it. But I'll just say this much. It involves 2 inmates and a counselor, a female counselor. and the worst possible thing you could think about happening, jumping off. So I just need to do a little digging. I would never want the lady that had this happen come across the video and feel some type of way or think she didn't indulge, to other people come out. I wouldn't ever want to make her relive it, if that makes sense. So I got to do a little digging and figure out how to do it so that it doesn't hurt anybody from the story. Where's everybody from, man? I got more to talk about. We're just getting started, though. I don't even know how far we're in. 20 minutes in. Talking to my guy Krupp earlier, man. Krupp's good, people. Y'all make sure y'all go find Krupp on YouTube and sub up. Arizona in the house, Cali, Dallas, Charlotte, North Carolina, Arkansas, Ontario, Canada, ATL, Morgantown, Nebraska, England, 412 ABX, New Mexico, Whitbridge, Rochester. Damn, y'all deep in here. Washington, South Jersey, Illinois, Ohio. I can't even keep up with them. Colorado, Washington, Southside, Richmond in the house, New York, Rican and Puerto Rico, Indiana, Detroit, Bay Area, Illinois, Oklahoma, RVA, Wisconsin, the whole United States, Florida, Australia, Delaware, Kentucky. Think about it. When's the last time you went to one place where it was this many people from that many places all in one place? That's beautiful. Real Kens, my guy. Philly in the house, Pittsburgh in the house, Milwaukee, California, Syracuse, Arkansas, Vancouver. Brandon Newman, how do I get a one-on-one to tell you about me? I'm going to drop my email in the comments section, the channel's email. That's my email. If you got a story you want to tell, there it is. There it is. Sam said, I'm curious why you don't do tattooing in the free world now, because I don't want to be around people that much, to be honest. When you're tattooing, you're just constantly around people. Your job as a tattoo artist pretty much is dealing with somebody new every day or every other day. Hey, Katana, thank you. And big salute, man. Thank you for the super chat. DeAndre TJ Conservative Walton. Thank you for super chat. Say glad to see you being a whole time YouTuber. Me too. Me too. I hate having this green screen behind me. Makes you want to get up and hang something up. And I got stuff everywhere. Everywhere. I spent the last 2 days putting this back together, and I got a bunch of stuff coming to just change the whole look of everything. I think I'll always do my videos, like my prison videos in the car. I don't even feel comfortable doing them nowhere else but in the car. I don't know why that is. I know that might sound crazy. It's just where I feel comfortable. But with what I got coming, I've got to be in here. There's no other way around it. I've got to be in front of the computer. With my prison videos, I do all that stuff from my phone. A lot of people don't know that. I do it straight from my phone. So it just goes to show you don't have to have a crazy setup. You don't. Let me see if I can do a virtual background through this. I think I can. Think I can. Just got a 2-piece. It's not gonna let me. Somebody said virtual background. It made me instantly go into my set and sidetrack the hell out of me. I smoked earlier too, so I'm a little. Joseph Paula, that's my dude. See that green screen's bugging the hell out you. Absolutely, driving me nuts. Tommy said the green screen brings out your hat. Paul said, listen to Jid and Eminem Animal. All right, I got you. T say you smoke gas. Come on now. That's one thing you can do in Virginia. Like, you can smoke. Even on probation, you can smoke. I've never been to all types of drug charges. I don't have no drug charges on my record. Like, never been arrested, convicted of any drug charges. So when I get probation, it's more or less, we want to know that you're not running stupid in the streets. You're not out there being a menace. Like, they're not worried about me doing all the other stuff. So I'm allowed to smoke. Red in 87, longtime fan from Fresno. Hey, salute you, Red. Song 804 Main said, I'm Banky, little bro. I know you. I seen you in Banky's comments. I'm pretty sure we know some of the same people. Michael said, look at skinny, get back on them weights. I'm trying to drop weight. That's a fact. Song said, "Use with the man pill soldiers." Yeah, that's what I run with. Boo, Roger, Uno, all the Ravons, Philly, everybody from Ampill. Shits and Giga said, "You look really healthy. Looking Jay, your eyes are nice and clear." I try. I don't do nothing I ain't supposed to do. Make that make sense. Why do you? I mean, I thought I had life figured out, right? Like, I really thought I had life figured out. But I used to tell y'all, at the moment you forget really like where you come from and what you've been through, you'll go back there. I think that's what happened, man. I just got to where it was a point where it was just like, I don't know. I don't want to say out of touch with reality because that sounds crazy. I ain't never been out of touch with reality, but I didn't worry as much. And I didn't worry about me, you know, and I'm probably the biggest thing I should worry about. Because when it comes to fucking my life up, can't nobody fuck my life up like I can. That's a fact. Ain't nobody ever done shit to me that I ain't done 10 times worse. What up, Zane Till? Welcome in. Now we're still talking. See what his comments say. I gotta scroll up. Todd, big salute, man. Thank you for the super chat. Todd said, I watch your videos when I eat my curry in Japan. I know randomly. Become tradition for me. Love the stories. Well, hey, thank you, Todd, and enjoy your curry, my guy. I'm not even sure what curry is. I think it sounds good though. Papa Somo, longtime fan from Boston. Big salute, homie. Keep doing you big things. Thank you, man. So we went to the same schools. I went to Turning Point. You said you went to. I went to Turning Point, but I went to a lot of Richmond schools. Y'all gotta give me a second. I gotta plug this in. I went to Turning Point. I think when I got kicked out of, I can't remember if it was Meadowbrook or what, that I went to Turning Point. I also went to Burger King Academy, if you remember that. Like, how the hell they got me going to somewhere named Burger King Academy? Man, this green screen just, it messed my whole vibe up. Messed up everything I had going on. Y'all don't realize when we get started, I'm in here probably 30, 45 minutes before the stream starts, just getting set up. And this whole dumb shit happens. Don't let the door hit you. A little birdie told me that you stole tons of your stories from Sally's. Well, who's your little birdie? Otherwise, shut up. Get a picture. Put your real name up there. Hit a link. I love people, man. A lot of times be the softest people, man. Ain't no sure enough dude that'll bust your head gonna get up here and go back and forth all day. I ain't about to do it. I'm not gonna do it. That shit ain't right here. That shit ain't about nothing. Jeffrey Burns, first time catching a live, favorite YouTube channel. I've never been in, but a lot of your stories mirror Army life in the barracks. Shout out to 1 through 4 Cavalry. Hey, thank you for your service, Jeffrey, man. Shout out to the 1 through 4 Cavalry. And I've heard that before. People compare the military to prison. Some of it I can, but the only thing I can say is that's really, really different is there's no glory in going to prison. You know what I mean? I think like going to prisons, you pretty much get that I am stupid name tag, you know, like. But as far as like the PTSD and all the things that come with it, and just the constant sense of unsure what's gonna happen next and when am I going home, like, yeah, that shit's real. That shit is real. Told you so. Said you should set your studio in an extra bedroom or garage if you have the space. This is a whole entire room that's set up just for this. This room is about, I'd say it's about 20 by 15. So it's a good 300 square feet in here. I talked to Krupp earlier and I said, I'm gonna run the green screen tonight, right? I just started putting the room back together today. I said, I'm gonna run the green screen tonight till the new stuff shows up. I done put so much stuff in here, but I wanna be more just trying to get more basic. Like I don't have to do all the crazy shit. I just want the white panels behind me, the red couch, so I can lounge and do these lives and just relax and not be in a chair and just keep it simple, but sharp. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna be all chaotic when I dress, so I don't want what's behind me or around me to be all chaotic. I'm a simple man. Anthony LeConte said, never thought about comparing prison to the military. My dumb ass, I joined the Coast Guard and I couldn't swim. You are tripping. You are tripping. Have you talked to Smitty? I've not, man. I have not. Smitty's my guy, man. Michael Smith, good dude. Triple X said, JD, you ever buy scratch-off tickets? I have my little phases where I go with them, but I'm not I'm not one to keep doing something if I'm not benefiting from it. Like, I'm not gonna keep scratching these dumbass tickets and throwing them in the trash every time I pump gas. Like, no, if I don't hit something like something significant in the first week of scratching tickets, I might not scratch another ticket for a year. I don't like gambling my money. I don't like gambling the money, man. I don't like messing the bag up. Obi the Big 11, yo, been here since rocking the beanie in the garage. Been glad ever since. Salute to you, soldier. Hey, thank you, man. And salute to you. Make sure I didn't miss any more supers. They come in fast. Let me say this. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Trap 6 with the $1.99 donations. The keyboard warriors. Salute, big dog. Yeah, they don't. That's one thing about it. I see it. I push it out my mind. I keep it moving. None of this talk of what people say is real life. All these years I've been doing YouTube, I've heard this, I've heard that, and I guess the smoke people want just disappears when you turn the keyboard off. Where I come from, smoke don't disappear. Not real smoke. Song said, I knew Jeff Grant, Nene, Roger, and Bommy Thomas. I stayed in Park Lee and San Suze. I used to live in San Suze. You live in the old Park Lee? If so, I probably ran across you. I used to live not far from there. I ran with a bunch of Cambodian dudes, Asian dudes. Vut Vong, Samakra, John B. A lot of different Asian dudes I ran with back in the day, man. Vut Vong. Hey, Park Lee used to be treacherous. Real story, real quick. I went to a chick's house after school. I was in high school, right? And she lived out Park Lee. I went over there after school. And I remember standing in her kitchen. And I went to go lean on the wall. And the chick said, don't touch the wall. I fell through the wall and into the neighbor's apartment. Their kitchen, living room wall was one big wall with straight cardboard. And had been painted. Like they had stapled cardboard to the studs and painted it. And I literally fell through to the neighbor's apartment, man. That's ghetto. That's ghetto. $127. Why you always talking about booty bandits and booty? Why you always watching booty bandit videos? Y'all be the ones that'll watch a video and leave a comment on every single one like that and then ask why somebody dropped it. Jesse Rios, how come we never seen your wife on camera? Am I wrong? She don't want to be on camera. But if you want to know what my wife looks like, you can find her on my Instagram. My wife's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman, man. She's bad. It's I don't know what. Like, we've been married since 2014, and even to this day, I'll look at her and be like, damn. She's like, can I walk by without you touching me? I'm like, it's hard. It's hard. Like, and I don't care what she's wearing. I know all them dudes. John Bunn, Sonny Pack. Yeah, I know all of them. They was UAB. You're right. You're absolutely right. I ran with them. We used to be up Bermuda Run beside the food line by Chan. pineapple juice. If someone has a tattoo of the Dallas Cowboy logo, would they get pressed for it? Not if it looks like the Dallas Cowboy logo, but if it's just a star, yeah, you're gonna get pressed for it. You still have Max? A friend of mine, Robert Hardy's got Max. My last bid was it was a year. I had to do 65% of a year. Ended up like I'm not gonna say it ain't a bid because I was away from my family. That wouldn't have been what I considered a bid back in the day. But my longest straight at one point was 10 years. Now, I talked to Jacob Aquino earlier, and anybody who watches my channel knows I have a really good friend, right, named Jacob Aquino, and knew him through high school, knew him in the detention center, and then we became, I guess we drifted apart. Our friend group was different, right? I think he was from like Belmont area. So I ended up running across him again in prison. We got real tight. It's my dude, and I talked to him earlier, and he was just running me down. Everything going on in there, how things are. And it's a different world. That's a bid. Like, he's been down since 99. We're the same age. He's been down since 1999. So he's going on his 26th year, and he comes home 2028 off of a 36-year sentence. But I was telling him, I was like, I love when people ask me, did 10 years seem like a long time? Pause. Did 10 years seem like a long time? I want you to think back to where you were 10 years ago, right? And how far back that was. And then fast forward to today. All that time gone. But here's the thing about doing long bids like that, right? And this is what I know to be true. Once you start getting years or you get into bid mode, you're no longer thinking about the time you have. You start thinking about the time when you get like to a point where you can actually see light at the end of the tunnel. When you get under, for me, it was getting under a year. I didn't really care about the 2-year mark, the 18-year mark. When I hit that 12-month mark, and for once I could say like I no longer have years, I have months. That's when like the time really started to bother me. That's when the time got the slowest. The slowest time you're ever going to do is on the last 100 days of your bid. Like, I marked them down, and I tell people don't do it. My dumb ass, this go round, I had a whole entire 100-day countdown sheet, and it was the dumbest shit I could have ever done. I'm spitting. I think it's in here. Give me a second. Hold on. Yeah, big facts. Big facts. I got it written on the back of one of my property slips. I think that's what this is. Oh, this is a money slip showing how much money I had in my account. But yeah, right on the back. Right on the back. Marking days down, man. Marking days down. This shit right here, this shit was real. But those are the longest days you're ever gonna do. Is them last days. The last days also suck, man, because that's when you really have to say goodbye to people you know you're never going to see again. You'll talk to them on the phone. Some of these guys you're never going to see again. Stealth says, second live in a short time. Thanks for the shout out when I share my 10 years clean, live, nothing but love. Appreciate you and what you do. Hey, big salute to you, man, and your sobriety. It's a big deal. But yeah, the end of the bid is the hardest. It's always the hardest. This go around, I had to say bye to dudes that I got cool with that ain't never coming home. No chance. That right there should make you move different. It should definitely make you move different, man. Never coming home again, that's just crazy to even say. To like, know that the only time you'll ever see a 7-Eleven again is on like TV. Or the option of like pulling soft blankets up around your neck and having a soft pillow. Never happen again. The closest you'll get to that is if you get hurt and get put in the hospital. Then I talk to dudes that still felt like in their head they were going home. And that's a sad thing to see. That's a very sad thing to see when you're talking to somebody and you know their crime and you're like, damn, this is a good dude, but he did some crazy, like you wild out. Like people are no longer here. People are gone up off the face of the earth. People mourn, people hate you out there in the real world. But then you meet the person that they become. And it's crazy. You meet good guys that did one thing different than you did. We've all had crazy thoughts. I don't care what you say. Everybody's had a crazy thought that could have went really bad, right? Just some people acted on it. Some people act on it. Some people got a little too wasted and went through something they wouldn't have usually done. And that's alcohol, drugs, any of that. None of that shit's an excuse in the court. None of that's an excuse in the eyes of the law. Your ass is going to prison. The comments are moving fast, man. So if I miss you, don't ever think it's intentional. If there's anybody in here, don't think it's intentional. Some said, Jay, you know, dude named Jamil Staten from the R. He's been down 21 years now, Broad Rock. No, but I know a lot of dudes from Broad Rock. You got to think, I used to live out there. I lived off Sneed for the longest. Then I lived off Bryce. Like I was out there when all them Southern Thugs dudes was running around. Ham, E, Wood, Big TJ, and then the younger dudes, Wookie, Booney, Mike. Any new tattoos? No, but I do want to get some. I got some ideas, new stuff I got. And I'm probably going to do my head. Like, I'm bald. And I always have a hat on. And I am who I am. But as far as like doing them on my body, I don't really have nowhere to put no tattoos. I mean, I got some places, but we ain't going there with it. It ain't that serious. Chaz from Ireland checking in. Big salute to Ireland, huh? There it says a Scarface shirt. Yo, hit that like real quick, man. G Tatted Up TV said, Philly in the building. Salute, bro. I'm so glad to see you living life and doing great as a free man. You was the first one I started watching in prison genre, then Bill Feasy. I appreciate you, man. And much love to the 215. Nick Fox from the 757. Go hit that like button one time for the one time. $215 Europe. Jay, what was the worst part of CFCF? Intake. Coming into the F in Philly. Any of my Philly dudes in here, I'm sure there is. Going into the FI, CFCF is it's an institution in Philly, right? It's off State Road. It's Secure and From Hold Correctional Facility. And for a lot of people, they don't know this, right? That institute is actually named after a warden that lost his life at another prison, right, in Philly. So they renamed this new institution after this dude, Churn Fromhold. But coming in, anybody that's been in the F knows, when you come in, you're eating what's cold pack. You're eating what's called cold packs. And that's a little piece of styrofoam with usually a sandwich, an apple on top of it, and a bag of chips, right? I think it's 2 sandwiches, usually cheese sandwiches. And you're eating these things for a couple of days. And you're coming from the district. And I was always out southwest, so I get locked up in the Pine Box, right? It's 55th and Pine. And you would sit there 72 hours. 72 hours, you're not using the bathroom. I mean, if you use it, you're using it in the cell with a bunch of dudes, right? And dudes are going to be real pissed off because you're packed in there. You're dirty, you're greasy. Most of the dudes coming in off the streets of Philly are greasy when they come in. So then you get shipped after 72 hours. You don't make bail, they ship you to the F. Upon getting there, it's like you play musical chairs. You go from cell to cell to cell until you get moved all the way up to where they're finally going to strip you down, shower you, hand you your clothes through a little window. They sit there and watch you as you shower. Like, that's a long, drawn-out process because you've already been in the district 3 days. You're sleeping on a bench. Wherever you can find a place to sleep, you're sleeping, right? You got dudes in there getting sick. It's just, it's a miserable time. So then you finally get to the F and you think, all right, now I'm going to get to my cell. And I usually get locked up in the summertime when it's jumping. You know what I mean? And that bitch is packed. And they're in no rush. They're taking their time. They're taking their time. So by the time you finally hit a cell, it's 5 days. You know, 5 days you've been sleeping on straight concrete or sitting up against a wall, sleeping at night, or just straight eating cheese sandwiches to the point that your butthole is just a giant cheese plug. Like, shit's real. Okay, say from 54th and Willow. Larry Dynamite, what is your favorite Friday the 13th? And did you like Jason X? I like the concept of Jason X, but I don't think it's really, to me, it's like Jason Goes to Hell. It's in the franchise, but I could do without it. My favorite would probably be 3, definitely 3 when he gets his hockey mask. And then 6. Yeah, 6. When Tommy Jarvis goes to dig his ass up and he gets hit with lightning, that's when he became indestructible. When he got hit with that lightning bolt and he was in that coffin and he rose up from there, it was like, ain't no more killing this dude, man. Chamberlain said cheese butt plug. That sounds truly awful. Hey, man, you have no idea. And I know that shit was a little graphic, but think about it. Imagine eating cheese sandwiches for 3 to 5 days straight, 3 times a day. 3 times a day, all they're going to give you in the district is cheese sandwiches. Jingle Bingle, Daniel from Canada, been watching you for a very long time now. Wonder if you got any new merch coming. I hope you're doing well. Much love. So funny. I've got a whole bunch of stuff drawn up, but I haven't gotten to the production phase of it yet. I think I have to accomplish one thing before I move on to like something else, or I just get too jumbled. Right now, I'm trying to get this studio back together. And then from there, I've got a whole bunch of just stuff that we're going to do as far as the merch goes. But that's to come. You know the mamas and the papas. 53rd and Master in the building. Hey, big salute, Brian Barshell. Jose, yeah, hey, it's a good question. Jose Acosta said, ever seen someone so institutionalized that they think prison currency translates to outside? Looks like you've been losing weight, by the way. I appreciate that. I'm trying to lose weight. Somebody asked me what my ideal weight is. Now I'm trying to get to like 190, 185, 190. Because for the longest time, I've been staying roughly between 215 and 225. And that's heavy for me. I don't like being that heavy. That's a good weight if you're like super athletic. You know what I mean? If you're like that, then 215 is a good weight. If you're not super athletic, you should not. Your ass don't need to be 215. No shots fired. It's just my opinion. But No, I haven't seen anybody try to like use like what we do in prison as far as currency. But I know dudes out here to this day that if they loan you something, they're gonna throw interest on it. You know what I mean? You want to borrow $40? Look, I got you. Yeah, you can borrow $40, but I need 60 back on Friday. And that's a real fact right there. Jordan Carter, you watch Hell House LLC? Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I'm a horror fanatic. Like, I can't give you a reason on why I like horror movies the way I do. I don't know if it's like that was like a really good memory from my childhood, and I think that's what it is, man. Like, I didn't. My mom was awesome. I can never say anything about my mom. I seen my mom the other day. It's the first time we'd seen each other in a couple of years, and that was great. Love my mom. It was good to see her. But as far as like my childhood was messed up. But I remember like at nighttime when all the chaos had finally stopped, taking that old dial click TV, click, 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 the little 13-inch brown box, and going to like USA and catching like an old horror flick, a Jason movie. Those were good times for me, just laying there in the dark in my little room at night in the silence watching scary movies. And as I've gotten older, that's what I like. I don't like movies that make me cry or make me upset. My wife's got this one movie that we watched one time about this chick that had cancer. And I wanted to like literally find a way to purchase every copy of that movie in the world and burn them shits in a giant bonfire because emotionally that movie messed me up, man. I don't like seeing stuff like that. With horror, like, you ain't never cried in no horror movie, ever. You tear the TV set up the shower was cold as hell. The little square box they watch you through. Yeah, facts. But you just trying to that shower. You gonna hop in real quick, get your business done, and get out. Get out, man. Just trying to get to the cell. That's all. Matt, you could do a separate playlist category where you react to foreign prisons. I just watched a Thai prison doc and all the dudes were disciplined. No ghetto type hype shit. Kitchen knives chained down, different atmosphere. I keep that in mind. I am going to do more. I like doing reactions, right? I just don't like doing live reactions. I'm much better when I can go through, do everything, record it, and then cut out the parts where I'm looking for it or cut out the research parts. Like, I'm much better with that. But I agree. There's another comment I seen. Nikki Fox said, yo, Jay, you stay fresh with the hats. What's your kick game like, bro? My kick game's serious. My kick game's I grab a couple pair of shoes. Give me a second. Let me see. Tons of shoes. Grab a little 4-piece. I'll make it a 5-piece. Hold on one second. In no particular order. Burgundy and white Air Force Ones. Gotta love them. Dope set of shoes. Clean. What's next? What you know about these? What you know about the Jordan flights? What do you know about the Jordan flights? Everybody does the ones. What do you know about the flights? Yeah, take them back. Take them back. Step out on something different. What else we got? Cardinal 3s. What you know about the Cardinal 3s? Clean. Don't play with. There's shoes everywhere. I got shoe boxes stacked over here, and the whole room lined with shoes. A lot of people ain't seen these. The Kobe 9s. Yeah, the Kobe Bryant 9s. What do you know about that? I guarantee a lot of people ain't ever seen the Kobe 9s. Who got last? Another pair of forces. Just different. I just step out different. And please remember this. Anytime you see me with a hat on, like the feet got to match the head. That's just how we do it, man. That's all I know. Brian Burr, so what do you think is the number one thing you could take from all your experience as a child? What not to be as a man? That's a fact, man. Don't run. And what not to be as a man. My father taught me everything I needed to know about what I didn't want to be. Boogalorian said LeBron is the GOAT. Facts. I would give it to Bron. It's your favorite cartoon? I think growing up, my favorite cartoon was probably DuckTales. I know that's gonna sound crazy, but I love DuckTales growing up, man. That shit would come on, do. Like, I love the episodes of DuckTales. Chip and Dale, the little Rescue Rangers. I like them. Like, the 80s was different though. The 80s was so much different with the Saturday cartoons. Jaden Selman said I drew a picture a couple years ago. You said it was dope. I wish I could say I remember everything, Jaden. But if you can, send me a picture. JLet'sLiveLife@gmail.com, huh? Jay White said, yo, my dog been watching you for years. Keep going. Oh, absolutely. Cybernaut said, people who are into horrors are sickos. I've heard that before. I'm not even gonna argue with you. I'm sure there are some. Scroll in the comments. The movie The Lovely Bones helped me. Sad, but sad like that. I like the movie. I like the book better, man. K-Dot, I seen Jay live and almost broke my thumbs clicking. Easy now. $86K, why are they saying Jay got his cheeks clapped in the chat? That's called trolling. That's called trolling. It's somebody's just bored and they're having fun with it, man. I've got more flights. Those ain't even all the flights. I've got a lot of shoes. A lot. I think my favorite pair would be, I've got a pair of 95 breads, right? Like the original 1995 breads that I wouldn't even attempt to put on because they're going to fall apart. They're more or less like collector's items. 95. Still got the plastic, shoelaces in the plastic. Does Noah have a shoe collection too? My son, yes. Yeah, but it sucks building his shoes up because by the time he gets a good collection, he outgrows them. But then we donate them, here, donate them there, make sure that, somebody else gets good use of them. But yeah, he's big in the shoes too. Decimation, your last bit, did you see anybody get violated? And you know what I'm talking about? I don't want to type it on here. No, I didn't. I heard stories though, but I didn't see anything. I heard some suspect stuff one night, but this was when I was still in the jail. Before I got bonded. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about what I heard, but no, did I see anything? No. I'll just say that I could hear some shit through the walls one night, and I ain't looking neither one of them dudes the same when I got up the next morning because they was homeboys, and that was enough said. The Animaniacs, yes, Chamberlain. I love the Animaniacs too. Y'all remember Fraggle Rock? Fraggle Rock was awesome. Wascally Fraggles. In the 80s, we had real cartoons though. I mean, where they shoot each other in the face with shotguns and drop bricks on each other's heads, and man, that shit'll get you canceled now. JPen 856. Do you forgive your father? Yeah, I forgive him. He's dead. Do I forgive him? Yeah, but I don't forgive him for him. It ain't nothing for him. It's for me. Because if I don't forgive him, then I gotta walk around. I think it's nothing more than anger. When you don't forgive somebody, you walk around with a heart full of anger, and that shit ain't harming them. It's just hatred. I read something one time, right? They said hatred is hating somebody is like the equivalent of drinking poison and expecting it to kill them. It only hurts you. You got to let it out. No, I forgive him. But that's where we leave it. Sammy Jones, what's a dish you can cook really well? I like spaghetti. I'm a beast with the spaghetti. Larry said books are always better than movies. I agree with that. I'll go with that. I've read a lot of books that blew the movies out. I'll tell you one book that had a crazy, crazy ending. That's nothing like the movie, and that was it. And if you read books or you've ever been in a position where you read books, it's a big ass book. Like it is legitly the book is huge. I remember at the end of it, y'all have all seen the movie, but in the book, at the end of it, they're in this little tunnel, and they've got to make a pure sacrifice, a showing of love. And it's the craziest idea from Stephen King. His idea of this true showing of love was for all the little boys to just run train on the girl. Crazy. All these little boys, little teenage boys, and that little girl y'all seen the movie with the little red hair? Yeah, in the book, they all smashed. True fact. Billy Tom, did you ever get stabbed in the pen? If so, how many times? And where? I had situations. I got hit one time in the chow hall, and I wasn't even involved in anything. And this is when I first got to Greensville, I was acting out in the jail. When I mean I was acting out in the jail, I was young, I was wilding, I wasn't about to be disrespected. I had a really big chip on my shoulder. We had a whole bunch of different cities crammed in one pod, and we were just constantly feuding, right? So we got to a point where they started sedating me. At first it was against my will. At first it was we're gonna shoot you in your ass with this Haldol, and it's Thorazine, or if you don't let us, we're just gonna come in 6 deep, hold you down, and do it. That's how bad I was snapping. Anybody knows what Holodoll and Thorazine is? Like, that's the level I had got with wilding out in the jail. They just couldn't control me. So after a while, like I just got tired of fighting them. Like, all right, man, I'm not gonna fight them anymore. Just give it to me. So they started giving me the pill form of the Thorazine, right? So I get to Greensville. I'm still taking this stuff, right? And Thorazine leaves you super groggy. And I took Elavil, Trazodone, Seroquel, Thorazine. Like, they had me on a whole concoction of shit trying to keep me under control, right? So I get to Greensville, and I'm not there long. And you go to pill call in the morning, right? And then you got an evening pill call, and then late in the evening pill call. So I'm still groggy from the medication they've been giving me, which I stopped taking after this, right? Because of how slow it made my reflexes. But I'm still groggy from the night before from this concoction that they're serving me up, trying to keep me under control. And I go the next morning, and I go to the pill window, I get my pills, and I like stumble into the chow hall. There's a dude I can't remember if it was one dude or 2 dudes in front of me. And then there's a dude directly behind me. And I just remember that I was kind of looking down, and I guess the dude that was a couple dudes up pushed the dude. Yeah, he was 2 dudes in front of me, because he pushed the dude that was behind him out the way and was trying to stab the dude behind me. And I looked up, and I almost feel like I put my hand in front of the man. Like, when I seen him come forward the knife and he pulled back, I put my arm up and moved to the side. When I did, he stabbed me in my wrist. He ended up stabbing dude. They ended up going at it. The people come in. I'm leaking. I'm disoriented. This other dude's poked up. I got a big ass hole in the bottom of my wrist. That would be one time. There's another time I won't talk about, right? But then I had a crazy ass cellie named Crazy L, Larry Lewis Lee. You can look that bitch up. At that time, he didn't have a lot of time. Now he's locked back up. He ain't never going home. And this dude should never get out, right? He's a nut. He's a whole entire nut. So he's a tall ass black dude, lanky ass, tall, bald black dude, bummy ass dude, man. Like, just the definition of a piece of shit. So I'm on the bunk, and I hadn't been in the cell with this dude a couple weeks. We ended up getting a fight and all this shit after this. But I'm watching the TV, and back then we had these little black and white TVs. I had what's called a Kobe, right? 8-inch Kobe. Little gray TV. It's got a radio knob on the side. The antenna pulls out the back. And I'm watching this little TV, and I'm on my bunk. And this dude is running his mouth. White boy this, white boy that. Like, he's a head case. And I'm on the top bunk, and I have words with him. I said, man, you gonna make me come off this bunk, man. Like, I didn't want to do nothing to the dude, for real. I knew he was like, I think smoking crack just fucked his head up. Like, for real, for real. You ever met one of the dudes that they just smoke too much and now they're gone? That's him. So he's sitting at the table right there, and he's writing something down, and he hops up like real quick. And I got my legs hanging over the side of the top bunk, and he hits me in my thigh. So I come off the bed, I grab the TV, I smack him with this little ass gray TV, boom, break my TV, and we go at it, right? So the guards see what's going on. Like, they're coming by, they're walking down the tier. We've been going at it now for I don't know how long. It seemed like forever. We was going at it in there. They come down the tier, they pop the cell. We're in there still going at it. But when they come in, he starts fighting the guards. Like, dude, full-fledged, like, just turned it, me and him, what we had going on, he turned that off and just turned on the guards, just started rumbling the guards. Well, they beat the shit out of Larry in that cell. Like, they trashed him, drug him in that cell. I mean, did him so bad. So it's to a point to where it's overkill. What they did wasn't protocol. Like, y'all went way beyond. That man is on the ground handcuffed, and y'all are kicking him in his face and stomping his head. So they were going to write charges for everything that happened, right? I'm getting charges. He's getting charges. I'm drug up in all this shit. Pause. I couldn't stand L. Could not stand him, right? Give a shit what happens to him. Fucking feed him beans. But they tell me, they look at him and they're like, I'm leaking. At this point, I don't even know he stuck me. They said, he's like, Jay, you seen what they did to me? You seen what they did to me? I said, man, you talking about, I seen what they did to you. Like, so the guards are like, look, you ain't getting no charge. He was like this when we came in the cell, right? I said, huh? Like, we're just going to say that, you know, we found him like this when we came in the cell. I said, bet. And they rolled out, right? So then I have to go to medical. because of the fight. And as I'm walking, I start to feel pain, but it doesn't feel like it's coming from the area where I got stabbed at. It felt more like it was like in my lower stomach and at the top of my thigh, like the crease of my leg is where I felt the pain. So I'm looking at my pants, and the whole front of my pants is just, so I'm in sweatpants. The whole front of my sweatpants is just bloody, soaked in blood. So I go over to the nurse, and the nurse is like, and I think the corner of my mouth was cut. He scratched the shit out of my corner of my mouth. I go to the nurse. She's like, where's all this blood from? I thought it was his blood, and I started feeling the pain. At first, I said, I don't think it's mine. I think it's dude's blood. And she's like, no, you're bleeding. Like, this shit was starting to saturate the front of these sweatpants. And she looks at the front of my sweatpants and pokes at it. She's like, oh, you need to sit down. He took that pencil that he was sitting there right with, stood up and buried that bitch in the top of my thigh. And to this day, I have a big ass white dot where that pencil went in my leg. This lady had to sit there. And I don't know if I'd rather got hit with steel. That pencil was some shit coming out because it's all splintered up. It broke when he broke it off of my leg. So now she's got to dig down in the hole to try to get the pencil out. That sucked. Yeah, that sucked. Jingle bingle, anything going on with you, Jay? You doing good? I'm great, man. I can never, ever complain. Dillbark said, glad you're back, Jay. Missed you, bro. I appreciate you. Jeffrey Burns said, check out the book. It is what it is. About my old XO wrote it. And about our unit in the surge on Baghdad. It's a good read. All right. I'm so far behind. Trying to catch y'all's comment. Maisha Jean. What up, Jay? This is crazy. I'm just catching you live, and I've been a fan. So currently I have a brother in jail on some very not so good charges, and I've been trying to find a way to forgive him. If I'm reading what you're saying with not so good charges, that means, like, I'm guessing you're saying he violated somebody, right? That's up to you, what you're gonna do. Me personally, and I can say this because I've done it. I just don't share everything in my life. But years ago, I had a very, 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 very close family member do something crazy, right? I have not talked to that person since. Have not talked to him. No plans on forgiving him. No plans on moving forward. No plans on talking again. To me, there are some things that are unforgivable. Now, if you want to forgive for yourself, you can do that. But you need to also understand this, and I say this and I stand behind this. You can forgive somebody and not have to deal with them. So you can forgive your brother for what he did, but you ain't got to deal with him. You know, that's just what it is. Strange Views, Talk Cannabis, New York in the house. What's good, Jay? Hey, big salute. You plan on going live often, said Max. Once I get everything set up, because as we can see, we had technical difficulties tonight. I just ran the Ethernet cord. Maybe the Ethernet cord got frayed. I don't know. But there's no reason I should have better service with just my service and not the internet. So let me get that straight. And yeah, I like going live. I enjoy it. I like interacting with y'all, talking. I don't like this green ass screen behind me. Greco, good to see you doing well, Jay. Would you ever go on Unsubscribed podcast? It sounds familiar. I don't know a lot about them. Or maybe I do, and they just slipped my mind. But I'm open to collab with other people, man. You're going to be interviewing people, absolutely. Once again, my email is jlet'slivelife, all one word, at gmail.com. And just put in the title interview. And we'll go from there. Have you tattooed since prison? Yes, I have. Good show with Joe you did. Yeah, I like Joe. Inglewood, Tennessee in the house. Shout out to Aunt Janice in Allegheny, didn't get the pardon. Gotta scroll back up. Behind the wall, 30 years as a correctional officer. Hey, hit me up, man. I'm pretty sure I've talked with you before. Or like we've communicated on here. Hit me up. Hit me on Instagram, you can hit me on TikTok. And if y'all are not following me on TikTok, make sure you go over and find me on TikTok. And the same with Instagram. The setting up a lick for me to watch on a chomo count as handling my celly. If I find out he has bad charges, you eliminate him at all costs. Ain't nobody gonna tell you how to get him out of there, but get him out of there. I've seen a lot of that this time, right? And the first go round, I agreed with the chomos extorting them and doing stuff like this go round that. But this go round, I hate it. I got another story coming up of a dude. I've actually got his name in my prison phone book. Where did I put that? I had it in here earlier. And I'm gonna pull up his charges and everything, right? This dude has like 300 counts of distribution of child videos, right? And he had been in prison twice for doing the exact same thing. And I seen guys in the pod like extorting him, making him pay to use the phone. And I wasn't feeling none of that. I didn't feel like he should have been able to exist in there. I didn't feel like he should have been able to use the phone. I didn't feel like he should be paying some of his commissary. I felt like all of it should be taken. So I clashed and butted heads with some dudes behind that, right? And I remember one of the reasons I butted heads one time is I talked to my wife. If I would call, I usually call in the mornings before she went to work, right? I'm talking to my wife and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna call you back. Dude comes up and says, hey, such and such got the phone after you. And I look and it's the Mo. Nah. And generally when somebody gets in line behind you, you don't double click. That's disrespectful. If somebody calls next, you let them get the phone and the spot opens up, or you tell them, put me back behind you, right? But he tells me, the Mo has got next, the Chomo's got next. I said, what? He said, that the dude's got next, man. He pays me to get on the phone. I said, we better pay you to get on somebody. Can't use his phone, man. Like, if you're ready to fight behind the Chomo using the phone, then we'll do what we got to do. But you need to holler somebody else. Yeah, I'm about to click out on the phone, man. He ain't using his phone. So then another time prior to that, I was on the phone and he come up. And some dudes, you can just tell. You can just tell. First time I looked at this dude, he had like female calves. You ever seen a dude that's got big ass female calves, like legs just look like a female's legs? He comes up and I'm on the phone and I'm talking. And the first thing he did that pissed me off was he interrupted me while I was on the phone. He said, hey, and I heard him. I didn't respond to him. I didn't know who he was. And he took his foot and he tapped my chair and I looked down at his foot and I looked up at him and I just turned my back on him. He said, can I get the phone? Can I get the phone address? Man, go away from me, man. Don't ever ask me for nothing, right? There was another time I was on the kiosk and this dude, I guess he's just been beat up so many times that he's used to it. Can I get the kiosk? No, you can't get nothing after me. I get fish at the kiosk. Anybody need a kiosk? I need it. I say, anybody need a kiosk? And I literally asked around till somebody else came and got on it. Like, fuck them dudes, man. Fuck them dudes. I've heard this. Somebody said, is it true? They put stuff in the drinks and in the food to lower men's sex drive in prison. They used to have this stuff called saltpeter, right? Like salt, Peter. They used to put into, I know, the food and the tea and stuff. But then something happened to where they stopped putting it in there. But that is a true fact. At one point, there was something they were putting in the food and the drinks to try to cut back on men's urges to do things like that. Hey, look, yeah, I don't know who unsubscribe is. Y'all want to see me on there? Spam the comment section. Spam the comment section. And tell them hit me at JLet'sLiveLife at gmail.com. They can hit me on Instagram. They can hit me on TikTok. If they leave the comment in the comment section of a video, I'll probably never see it, man. You know, I'll probably never see it. It's thousands upon thousands. You got to think, I'm getting comments on videos from 5 years ago. There's thousands of comments. I could hire an entire team of people and we wouldn't be able to answer the comments all in one day, but I try. Asian, hey, that's gangster. She said, hey, Jay, just fed 6 wild raccoons. Cat food, LOL. I keep them full so they don't go after my rooster and neighbors' chickens. So when I first moved into this house, right, when we first got this house, we had been here, we finalized everything. We moved in like February of 22, right? So I'm out back and I'm walking down the sidewalk out back of my house and I'm going to the pool. And I stop and I'm standing there messing with my phone and I feel something, like I like feel a presence. This is about you talking about the raccoon. And you ever feel like you just like, there's been a couple times since I've been here that I felt like I wasn't alone. Another time there was like a big ass snake dangling underneath our lower deck, like dangling from a rafter beside me, right? That was completely different. But I'm standing there and I just feel like I'm not alone. I'm on my phone, I'm looking at it and I'm like, and I look down and there's a raccoon sitting beside me. True story, right? This raccoon is like close enough that I could have reached out and touched him with my foot. Well, I've never really been in too much of an environment like this. I'm used to like the city. Like, this is all new to me. I ain't never been that close to a raccoon, right? I've seen them come out of people's trash cans and stuff and on TV, but I've never been that close to one in real life. So I look at him and I'm like, going somewhere. It scares me at first, so I like jump. I go over a couple feet and I'm standing there and I shine the light at it. I'm like, shh, go away. Raccoon's just sitting there. I don't know if somebody had dealt with it in the past or what, right? So I'm like, oh, hell no. So I walk up the little steps where the hot tub is. I sit up on the furniture up there. I shine my light over. He's gone. I say, cool. So I get off that. I walk down the little steps. I go down to the pool. I'm walking around the pool. And I think I was messing with the pool lights. And I stand up and I look and the raccoon's sitting beside me again. Like, the little bitch done followed me over beside the pool. And it's like a bunch of lounge chairs by a pool. He's sitting there beside me. I said, come on, no, hell no. So I started taking pictures of him because I don't think nobody's gonna believe I got this little raccoon sitting next to me. The raccoon kept following me and following me and following me. Like throughout the rest of the night. I was out there a few hours and I couldn't figure out why, right? So eventually we got our dogs. We have all small dogs. And we have a section beside our house it's fake grass, it's fenced in, there's 2 gates. That's our doggy area. The dogs stay out there all day. So our dogs are barking. And I can't figure out what they're barking at. This raccoon is staying up underneath of our back deck, the lower deck. That's where she's at, right? And the dogs are barking. So I don't think nothing else about it. Going about my business. I go in the house, and a couple hours later, I got all the pool lights synced. So I'm going out there again to make sure everything's right. And I see something floating in the water. And it's this little tiny, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a bat with no wings. It was a baby raccoon. I guess she was freaked out by the dogs barking, was scared, was trying to move her babies, whatever case may be. She walked by the pool and dropped it in the pool. Yeah, I sent AZ Ruction a picture of it. I said, what is this? It's like, that's a raccoon. No, nothing about it. Chase Russell, what's your email? JLet'sLiveLife at gmail.com. Terry Brown said, you and Real Kens would be a good watch. I'm going to do it. I have a bunch of interviews to do, but I've got dudes that I told I would do interviews. And I try to be a man in my word. So I'm definitely going to link with Real Kens, Charlie Global. There's a bunch of other dudes a lot of people don't know about that I've been watching that make fire content that are in this prison genre that I'm going to reach out to as well. The thing with me is I'm not like everybody else, man. For us to talk and collab and do this and do that, you ain't got to have 100,000 subscribers. You ain't got to have 10,000. You ain't got to have 5,000. You ain't got to have 1,000. Like if you got a good story to tell, you know, and your story can benefit the world or help somebody, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, man. Jay, I've been watching for 4 years. Salute. At your prime fitness in prison, what was your workout routine? Asking for those of us that want to build that physique. Well, here's the first thing you got to remember about prison physiques. We have nothing to do but work out. We ain't got to stop working out real quick because we got to get home. I didn't even like taking days off. I felt like I was getting weak when I took a day off. But I did a lot of negatives with heavy weight. When I mean what a negative is you get something manageable, 225, 245, right? And on your reps, you push that shit up, boom, slam it up. And then when you come down, slow. Like I would count as slow as I could, man. My workout partners would count backwards from 10, sometimes 20. Now that's a long time when you're pushing 225, which a lot of people say they can't. A lot of people can't push 225. Miss me with the bullshit. Not every man can push 225. But when you hit 225 and as soon as you break it, you slam it, you bring it down one time, you explode up with it, just slowly bring it down to your chest. And take about 10 seconds before it gets to your chest. When it's your chest, explode back up with it again. Them negatives do big gains, man. Big gains. And then just going overboard with it. I also used to do legs. I would superset legs in between anything I did. Because for a lot of people that don't know, and I ain't no fitness guru, no health guru, but your body naturally produces HGH, the human growth hormone. And a lot of it is stored in your thighs and your legs. That's how you get the most of it released to your body. So it didn't matter what we were doing. If I was benching, when I came off the bench, I stayed busy. That's another thing is the rest in between reps. I didn't take one. If you wasn't on that bench, you was doing push-ups or you was doing squats. And I would always finish every workout off with a run. Just like a good couple mile run, just to get that blood flowing fully and get that HGH moving. And then my diet was a big thing too. Low carb, high protein diet. That's what I was doing. But supersets, man, superset. Like today, I might do, chest and shoulders. And then the next day, legs and back. And then I'm going to rotate it. The next day, I might do chest and back or chest and legs. But I was a chest fanatic. Like I loved benching. I just loved benching, man. And then I got hurt. Brian Bursaw, you and JD got to do something together soon. JD's my guy, man. I interviewed JD 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. You can go back and check. You type in my name, JD Delays, you're gonna pop up, man. What did G tell? Let me see what you said. Right, it's hard to check these comments. G-Tat Up TV, I've never made it to top, thank God. But why do people with those type of charges even try their chance in general population or don't have a choice up there? They ain't got a choice. Here in this state, there is no PC. No. Your ass is going in the population. Whatever happens to you, happens to you. Dudes get real good at hiding their charges. Like this ain't, a lot of people see what goes on in Cali and other states out west and they think that's nationwide. That's not the case, man. Prison, Cali is its own monster in itself with their rules, their politics, the way they run things, they program. It's way different. The West and the East are, even though they're the same, they're not the same. We're very, very different in our day-to-day habits in general when it comes to being incarcerated. These dudes out here, there's no PC to send them to. The most they can do is check in, go to the hole, and refuse to come out the hole and live in the hole 23-1. That's it, 23 hours a day. But unfortunately, dudes over here, for the right price, they'll protect them. Now, don't get it twisted. Just because they're protecting them don't mean they're not going to get hurt. If somebody's protecting the chomo and he's paying this dude to protect him and that dude's homeboy slaps the chomo, he's not going to fight behind. He's going to be like, come on, man, you just don't slap dude, man. He's paying me. But then they go laugh about in the back end. You're going to become a victim time and time again. So them dudes really, they don't have a chance. A large majority of them dudes become boys. People ask, why you always talking about booty bands? That shit is real. That shit's a real part of prison. People can say what they want. Oh, that shit don't happen out here. Yes, it does. Yes, the fuck it does, man. Stop with the bullshit. But most of them dudes, like the treatment they get on day to day and their long-term treatment, man, it ain't nothing good about it. Nothing good about it. I've seen dudes walk around and hold dudes' pockets, chomos, hold dudes' pockets. That means that's his boy, right? Like, you know, when your girl might walk and hold hands, well, they're going to make the boy hold his pocket while he walks around. I've seen dudes do that shit the entire week, and this dude be a SO, be an offender like that, and then go over to the visiting room and sit down with his family and, everything's good. And I was looking at the visiting room like, that's somebody's boy. You had tight jeans on right before you came over here. So it's not... The prisons out here have no sympathy on them, and I salute them for that. They're not protecting them. They'll come in and make little announcements, but they're not really protecting them dudes, man. But as far as PC, ain't no PC. Sean 625. You and Larry Lawton would be a good collab. I've talked to Larry too, and I was supposed to do it before I got in trouble. So I'm glad you said that. You just reminded me I need to hit Larry up, man. Sorry, I got to catch up on the comments, y'all. When you're having one of those days where the old mindset tries to creep back in, what's the first thing you do to stop yourself from slipping into old patterns? I think about what happened last time. That's a God-given fact, man. I think about what happened last time. Because I say it always ends bad. It always ends bad. If you're somebody that can't control your alcohol and you think that tomorrow you're just going to have a drink and that's just where it's going to be at, nah, hell nah. All you did was you just lit the fuse to the bomb. Just sometimes it takes the fuse a little longer to get to the bomb. Some people set that bitch up and they blow up instantly. Like, I just remind myself, right? Dude Lance I used to rock with, when he was going through everything that he was going through, right? And I pray for Lance, man. I know he just had a big scare with cancer and whatnot. But when he was going through what he was going through, I gave him this thing one day that said, "Not today, Satan," right? I told him, I said, every time you get the urge or you think about messing with that stuff, man, you look at this, right? And that's pretty much more or less what I tell myself. Not today, Satan. Like, I feel it. Like, all I could think, oh, you almost had me. You almost had me. You almost got me to crack that bottle, huh? Yeah, okay. No, not today. Then at the same time, you gotta remind, just talk to yourself. I'll talk to myself. Like, are you really that stupid? Are you that stupid? You're gonna lose everything. Are you that stupid? And then I smile at whatever it is I thought about doing and go in the opposite direction, man. Dre Casey, how do you feel about people saying you went to jail for more content? That's crazy. Go to jail to spend time away from my children and lose out on stuff and for content. And that whole process was very, very, very expensive. It ain't many people in here that could go away for a year and continue to pay the bills from inside. Think about that now. If you're like the man of the house and something happened tomorrow and you are the breadwinner, you pay majority of everything in your house for your family, and you were to leave tomorrow, have you done enough to this point today that they're going to be okay for the next year? So it was very expensive, man. Very, very, very expensive. Hell no. So what's the hardest not today Satan moment you've had since you got out? The drinking. Like, and I'm not one of those dudes that's like, I ain't no damn wino, no nothing like that. But I'm Irish and Indian, right? So that's like, or should I say Native American? People get offended. Sorry to my Native American people, right? I'm Irish and Native American. So I can drink. Like I can really, I can drink. And I love drinking, but drinking ain't love me. I've got too much inside of me that I still have to resolve. You know, I think that some of us will go to our graves with some of the stuff we bury. And I've got shit I've buried deep inside of me that I can hide it and I can tuck it away. But you know, when you drink, you loosen up, like more comes out, man. And I think that's when more of what I don't want to come out starts to show. You know, it's real easy. I'm pretty good at keeping the fuck it button under wraps when I'm sober. When I get drunk, my fuck it button gets real big, meaning like, fuck it, real quick. Like I'll snap out. You know, leave my family alone, the people I care about alone, I'm gonna be all right. But I could deal with most dudes acting all macho and poking their chest down and shit when I'm sober, right? Yeah, I hear you. But I get to drinking and automatically I see that and I see it as a threat and it becomes competitive. By the end of the night, I'm fighting, you know, like, and I don't want that. And that's something I deal with. You know, I have no problem saying that I've had an issue with drinking. I started drinking at a young age. And it always followed me. And I think that's always going to be my biggest not today Satan thing, man. Mark said, how should a dude with false grape charges handle himself in there if they sentence him like he's guilty? He's going to be treated guilty in there. I've seen innocent dudes that I got into it with a dude we used to call the Ice Boy, right? Jonathan Montgomery. Stop and Google him real quick. He was in prison and everybody knew what his charges were. And I'll just say I wasn't the nicest to the dude, right? And years later, the girl that accused him of what she accused him of, she was working for the courts. She came forward and told them she lied. That she straight lied. This dude had never done nothing to her. And everybody's innocent in prison. Remember that. I've met 2 guys in all my time of being incarcerated. And I've probably met thousands of different dudes, man. That's no bullshit. Thousands of dudes I've met over the years or come across. Now, I've only met 2 guys in all of my years that had like clearly admit to what they did. Everybody else was innocent. Everybody else was innocent. So it's not gonna matter if he's saying he's innocent, you know, dudes are gonna say me too. He's gonna get treated like he's not. Yeah, it's in there. G Tatted Up TV, yeah, it's in there. Jonathan Montgomery. And I felt like this big, man, when I watched that dude on television get out. It became a big story anytime somebody's innocent, right? And I seen him, they were interviewing him in his mama's kitchen. If you go back and you type his name up, you'll see it. And he's hugging his mama and he's free and he's normal. And I'm like, but that's the world we living in there. You know, if he wasn't guilty, maybe he was. And if he was, maybe he wasn't. But in there, everybody is, man. Everybody is. So how do you do not eating so many blue footballs? I don't take any Xanax now. And like I told you, I had a script for Xanax, like given to me by the doctor for anxiety. I'm not talking about like I walk around like like scared of the world or anything. Just like anxiety is just it's like constantly feeling like there's a weight on your chest, like there's constantly a lump in your throat. You know what I mean? Just anxiety. And after I went in this time, I said, I'm not coming out and taking none of that stuff. I'm not taking none of that stuff, man. I've got to take care of me, and this ain't helping me. It's supposed to, but it's not helping me. And I've been great without it. I take natural stuff for sleep. I take melatonin. But as far as like narcotics or prescription medication, not doing none of that. I'm not, because at some point or another, you got to say goodbye to it. You got to stop taking it. And there ain't nothing. The worst combination you're ever going to come across to detox off of is alcohol and Xanax. And I can tell you that firsthand. Detoxing off of alcohol and Xanax it's something I don't wish on nobody. Nobody. The nurse was coming in and she was giving me medicine, right? I said, I ain't signing up for no medicine. She said, you got to take this. I said, take it. Why do I got to take it? She said, because the withdrawals of the alcohol and the benzos can kill you. I had never heard that before. I said, what? Yeah, it can kill you. Kane Luke said, I love Xanax. They don't love you. They don't love you. So we call it the Xanax dum-dums. I can't even tell you how many different times I got locked up on Xans. Like my shit out in Philly, the first robbery I caught, I'm not gonna bullshit you. At first, I thought I was completely innocent. Pause. Like I really thought I was innocent. That's how gone I was. I was like blacked out. And after they snatch us up, my brother Philly I interviewed, he could tell you the story as well. After everything pops off, he gets away, right? Me and another dude named Mike Baker, right? Mike Baker is currently doing a crazy amount of time. But shout out to Mike. Me and him take off. They got, back in the 90s, man, they had in Philly, they had these jump out boys, right? And they would jump up. These motherfuckers had Cherokees. Y'all remember the Cherokees out in Philly with no doors? And these bitches would ride around at night and just hop out because there was so much crime. So we're off Elmwood Ave in Southwest when everything pops off. I had no plans on robbing nobody. I wasn't out there to rob nobody. Like, but we was getting lit. It was like a Saturday. I remember we had smoked. I think we had smoked like 2 dippers earlier that day. And for y'all that don't know what this, I'll share this shit with you. There's no shame. It's my life. For y'all that don't know what dippers are, that's when you take a cigarette. Don't do this. You know, and I'm not promoting the YouTube. I'm not promoting no type of use like this. But you would take the cigarette, you pull the filter out, roll up like a matchbook and put it back in place of the filter. Then it's almost like these little cologne vials that come with PCP in them. Dust, whatever you want to call it. And we would dip them and we would smoke them, right? That shit there itself will make you crazy. You're going to feel like you ain't never felt in your life. Like Pac said, it's like a Sherm high motherfucker learn to fly, like, because you feel like you're walking on clouds. So we smoked that. I remember we had a big ass bottle of liquor. We went through a case of beer, me and a couple of my homeboys. We had a big fight pop off that night. And for people from around Southwest, if y'all know where the 8-ball courts are, over by Finnegan Park, we was down at the 8-ball courts, right? And we got to this huge rumble that night, me and my homeboys with these other dudes. So we dip out from there, and now we're just mobbing down the block. Just a couple of us, me and Philly. And we're walking. We're going, there used to be a tattoo shop up Elmwood, and we're going to see one of our dudes up there, right? Well, we meet up with this dude, Mike Baker. We're walking, Baker standing out there. What I don't know is this dude's looking to hit a lick. Like he's looking to jack somebody. I don't know this. I've never even met this dude in my life, but Philly knows him. So we start talking. Philly introduces me. We keep walking. We get up to one of these little poppy stores, and we're on the side of the poppy store chilling. And that's a bodega for people that don't know. Pause. And this dude comes down the street. I can't remember. I want to say the dude was playing like a harmonica. He was doing something. He was making some type of musical noise, right? And he gets up on us. And at this point now, it's late night, man. And I'm bent. I'm big bent. Like I'm leaned back against the bill with my head back, just bent. Not including the dust that I did. I didn't drink some syrup. Like I drank a good amount of promethazine, good amount of Tussinex, popping bars, smoking weed, drinking liquor. Like I'm 19 years old. I'm out there out of my mind. And I'm on the run. I'm in Philly. I got charges here in VA I ran from. Now, I remember a dude coming up, and one of the dudes that was with me was like, hey, what's up with you, man? What you getting into? Nobody knows this dude, right? Just a random dude walking down the street. This dude pulls out a big ass sack of dust, of wet. And he out there, they put it on the mint leaves, the parsley, right? But he pulls out a dumb ass sack of PCP. And before I even know what's going on, the dude that's with me, mind you, now I told you I'm leaning against the wall and I got my head back and I'm beside a payphone. Dude I'm with, one of them grabs him up and just starts messing this dude up, starts whooping his ass, and has done thrown him towards the alley. I don't know what's going on at this point. I don't know he's robbing the dude. All I know is somebody I'm with is now engaged in some type of combat with another dude. I'm like, right at blackout mode. Sorry, my throat scratchy as a bitch. So I know what to do. Like, naturally, what we're going to do is if one of ours is engaged in combat, you messed up. You came around the wrong area. We're going to beat the shit out you. So I join in. And it wasn't, I don't think that shit had been going on long when I heard freeze. And I look up and there's a jump out squad, right? So everybody takes off. I got all types of shit on me. I'm not out there robbing nobody. We had hit 2 licks within the 3 days before that to where I had a couple stacks in my pocket. We had hit 2 decent licks, like literally within 72 hours before that, right? So I was all right. I had a good amount of money in my pocket. But I've also got all types of other shit in my pocket when these cops yell freeze, like a couple vials of PCP, Xanax. I got weed on me. I got just a concoction of shit that I'm selling while I'm out there to keep money. Like, I ain't got no job. I can't get no job. I'm on the run. So what am I doing? I'm hustling while I'm out there. So I run from these cops. Baker goes down one alley. Philly shoots around the block. I hit another alley. We take off. Running. Well, I get to one point where there's a dumpster right there. I squat down beside the dumpster and I start emptying my pockets out, right? Trying to get all this shit off of me because it's by now cops are coming. There was, I guess, these jump out squad had already backed up. They had already called for another unit. I think they were watching us is what I think. It's because they seen we were up no good. I think they were just waiting for something to happen. So there's another unit sitting on the other street with a male and a female cop in it. Well, tell me why I stashed this up beside this little dumpster. Now I stand up and I go to come around the corner of the dumpster. When I do, this female cop hit me in the bridge of my nose with a walkie-talkie. Bah! And that shit dropped me. You ever been hitting your nose? And I'm not talking about just punch. I'm talking about like with a hard object right across the bridge. It does so much when that happens. Instantly, so much happens. You can't breathe the way you were breathing. You've now got blood running down the back of your nostrils into your throat. So you're choking on that. Your eyes start to swell. She fucked me up when she moved that walkie-talkie. Boom, I go down, right? They're on my ass, on top of me. They get me all cuffed up, right? I'm in a bad. I mean, I'm trash, but now you done hit me in my nose. My equilibrium's off. Like, my shit is, I'm messed up. Well, Philly gets away. Boom, he takes off. He gets away. They get Mike Baker. He's in a couple alleys over to get him. They bring us both back, and they lean us on the hood of the cop cars. Boom, slam us down, right? And they show us to the jump out squad. Like, is these the guys? And they're like, yeah, that's them. That's them. So they go ahead about their business, and they book us. So I'm in the back of the cop car, and all I can remember thinking is, good, Philly got away. Brian got away, right? That's what's up. And I look up, and I see him. He came back for me, man. He went home. And back then, we were wearing like the button-up polos and the button-up Tommy Hilfigers. You know what I mean? This is 99. He goes home and runs in his house real quick, and he throws his Averex over top of the button-up shirt he had on. And he comes back. He jumps on the dyno, the GT Performer with the pegs on it. And he comes back up the block. And there we are, all in handcuffs, right? So he's like, oh, this is my brother, man. I'm just trying to see what's up with him. He ain't from out here. Like, he ain't got no phone numbers on him. This is before cell phones, right? He ain't got no numbers on him. Like, let me give him this number real quick so he can call when he gets to the box. And the dude is looking at him, and he looks down, and there's a piece of his shirt hanging out of his jacket. He reaches over, unzips his jacket, and he's like, "Oh, we got the third one," and they lock his ass up. So, but the point of that story was, I was all messed up. I was all messed up, and I went out just being messed up, turned into a robbery, malicious. It was like 8 charges they stacked on me. They stacked so many charges on me. I ain't never getting out. But of course, that's what they do when they lock you up. They're always going to hit you with a couple charges that are just bullshit. They just throw it to the wall and see what sticks. Whatever sticks is what you get locked up for and you go away for. But I had warrants in Virginia. So then I had to sit. Like, I had to sit longer waiting to see if Virginia was going to come get me. Crazy times. All because I wanted to get messed up. That's what I tell myself now when I think about something like that. Is I look back on these things, and that's the product, man. That's the product of doing stuff like that. Bad girl, man. Much love and much love and respect for the 5 memberships gifted, man. That's awesome of you. Get back into the comments. Hang out with y'all a little bit longer, then I got to roll out. You couldn't convince me to do it, man. The shit we used to do back in the day was it was next level crazy. Like, really, really, really crazy shit we did. But I kid you not, I for real thought I was innocent. They had me and Brian, we was down 55th and Pine, right? And anybody from Philly's been down there, you got the left side, and you got the right side, and you got the juvenile block before they take you to the youth study center. So I'm 19, so I still look young. And I got warrants, so I spin them with a fake name. So at first they put me on the right side, and I'm over there with Brian. And then they run my prints, man. And it's crazy because Philly's dad was getting ready to come get us. They're like, we got your sons up here locked up. He's like, my sons? And they're like, yeah, both your sons. He's like, oh, okay. Well, I didn't give these people a fake name, so he don't even know like who to ask for. But they told him the name. He's like, oh yeah. So he had to figure that was me. That's with his son, right? But they went as far as they came and gave us, because when they lock you up, they take your belt from you. They take your shoes from you. Well, your shoelaces, not your shoes. Anything you can make a rope out of to hang yourself in there with, they're going to take it. Because this shit is a very low point of being locked up. It's bad. I'm talking toilets that are filled to the brim with waste and it's dried. And there's barnacles on the toilet. And you got people sick using the bathroom on top of this toilet that's already filled to the brim. Like, bad times, right? But they come over, they give me my belt back. They give me my shoelaces back. And they're like, all right, Mr. Such and Such is coming to pick y'all up. He'll be here shortly, right? And I look at Philly, I'm like, hell yeah. Like, I spun him on the warrant. Nope. Where I'm sitting at, they done brought us out the cell now. And they got us into the hallway. And you can see the front desk right there. And there's a computer monitor. And I can see the dude is doing something. And the next thing I know, one of my mugshots pops up. Now, this ain't a mugshot they just took. This is an older mugshot from like 4 or 5 months ago. So the gig is up, huh? My dumb ass, that was it. I'm gone. Off to the races. This bag, so I'm gonna head out. See you guys soon. All right, man, be safe and salute. I'm gonna jump off here in a second too. I enjoy doing this. A lot of people don't like live streams. I enjoy interacting. I'm just a regular ass dude. I put my shoes on just like you put your shoes on, wipe my butt just like you wipe your butt. It says 11 p.m. It's 11:10 here. Chamberlain says, you and your family have a wonderful evening. Good night to you and to the chat. Hey, Chamberlain, salute, man. Thank you for coming through and hanging out and kicking it with us tonight. It's been a blessing. Sure enough, indeed, it's been a blessing. I've enjoyed being back. So what's next? Next, we have a shit ton of interviews to do. A shit ton of interviews. I'm gonna go ahead and break my phone. I haven't even gotten into none of the notebooks that I wrote in, all the shit I wrote down while I was gone. That I'm gonna get into. I talked to Jacob Aquino earlier today. He is now less than 3 years before he gets out, man. Salute to him and much love to him. But he's got a lot of dudes in there that want to tell their story. So we're trying to figure out how to make that happen. Tyler TV, what's the title on the video where you talk about a day with Philly and Southwest when you had a bunch of bars on you, which is high on the basketball court? I don't know. I know the video you're talking about. You talking about I played ball against a little fat dude I kept calling Chubb Rock and the other dude. I can't remember. I've done so many videos, but I know exactly the situation you're talking about. So we got the video, we got the interviews coming up. I do want to tap in with current prisoners, just to let them tell you firsthand how life is in there and what's going on, how things have changed. Shit has changed. Shit has changed. I want to start going over a lot of the stuff I brought home. I'm looking around because I had a bunch of the stuff today. Just simple stuff. Hold on a second. I'm gonna grab something. Don't go nowhere. I have to look for some more, right? But then you got stuff like this, the inmate orientation, the handbook. They have a handbook to orientate you with prison. Then I've got the DOC, rule book that I want to break down. Just some of the shit's crazy. Some of it's crazy. But comparing the commissary list and I could do probably, God knows, probably 10 episodes on that. On comparing the prices of commissary in prison to the real price of what things are in the real world. It's just that there's a lot to come. I enjoy this. I like storytelling. I'm always going to do the storytelling. It's just a part of who I am, a part of what the channel is. But I like interacting with other people too. Because in my day-to-day life, if I talk to one person on the phone, that's a lot. And for the people that are still younger than me, as you get older, you're not really looking to do that no more. You're just not. I know I might, like when it comes to texting, I'll be the first to say it. I'm a piece of shit friend when it comes to texting. Sometimes I get texts, it might take me days to respond. But I think a lot of that comes from being locked up too. I've spent so much of my life around other people that once I get out and I'm able to just pull away from people, it's what I do. But I missed it, man. I missed YouTube so much, man. I missed it so much. And then I had stopped looking at the numbers. Even when I wasn't doing YouTube, I could go a whole month without doing YouTube, 2 months, 3 months. And I still got paid that month more than what the average American makes in a month, right? With no content, just off my back catalog. Now that I've gotten back to YouTube, I don't want to boast. I don't want it to sound like I'm not humble, because Lord knows I am. It's not boasting, but I don't mind sharing things with people. I think people don't want to get on here. For some reason, they want to be secretive about what they have going on with YouTube, but I make great money, man. I'm talking lawyer money, prosecutor money. I make better money, absolutely guaranteed, than a prosecutor or a judge. And like I said, that's not boasting. That's just, I hope that inspires somebody else that does YouTube to understand that you can turn this into a career. You can turn this into a full-time job and do great with it. I'm up to date on everything, taxes, all that. And that was a whole fiasco. I just went and met with an IRS agent last week just to go over some things moving forward to make sure that I never ran into any type of issues now. So now, rather than pay quarterly, I just pay monthly. Every single month, send IRS a chunk of what I think I should send them. But YouTube it's a blessing. I know that what I would have made this month doing construction, I tallied it up. What I would have made this entire month for 160 hours, right? Busting my ass doing construction, I made that in 5 days on YouTube. That's a fact. And that just goes to show you, it was never about, people say, it's just about the money, it's just about the money, it's just about the money. If it was just about the money, why wasn't I chasing it? Why didn't I continue? It's all about, if you're all about just doing something for money, you're not going to stop doing it. The biggest advice I can give to somebody when it comes to doing YouTube is just, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, man. Everybody's just, I've had so many people I know, and I'm talking since I started YouTube, and people I know outside of YouTube that I've known for a long time, at least 15 different people want me to help them start their channel, put them on. And I'm not saying that they're not capable, but the average person is just not capable of being a YouTuber. They're just not. There's a certain presence that comes with this. There's a certain everything about it. Like if people can't stand to hear you talk in their everyday life, just stand there and conversate, they're probably not going to watch your video. And if you don't like your video, most other people probably aren't going to like your video. I used to hate, when I first came on YouTube, I hated being behind the camera. I felt so uncomfortable. But then as time passed, it's like anything. When you start a job and you're the new person, you know how you kind of just, it's weird, walk around on eggshells. That's how it was when I first started YouTubing. And then as time progressed, it became more like just natural. I picked up on little things. I learned how to conduct myself. And I'll tell anybody this. You have to stay in character with YouTube. When I mean stay in character, that means don't come here if you're having a bad day. Don't get on here and be snapping out and doing that. That's you getting out of character. You have to stay in character. People have their own problems. People are going through their own shit. They're not trying to come on here and hear you crying about this and crying about that. Like, you got to stay in character on YouTube. If I'm having a bad day and I'm supposed to post or something, I'm not going to post because your energy's all off. Know when to not, not get on here. That's a big deal. And Nicole has said, got to have thick skin for real. It's all about having a presence with like-minded individuals. Fact, and you got to have thick skin. You've got to, because here's the thing. People that you know for fact would never say shit to you in real life are going to say all that shit on here. Because they can get away with it. The little dude that gets bullied is like, oh, here's my chance. He can say it and he can get away with it. A dude that knows for fact, man, this dude will punch me and bust my whole shit, will get on here and say it because he knows he can get away with it. And then at the same time, you got to realize they're just words. They're just words. Words get you punched in the face, but they're just words. And I can't do that, so I'm not about to go back and forth with you. That ain't gangster. What do they do that at? What do you want to do now? You want to write each other notes and mail them to each other beefing too? Like, stop, man. Stop. Not only that, I have a lot to lose, man. I have a lot to lose. To be going back and forth with somebody and really entertain the idea of doing something to them. Because after I win, I lose. If I hurt somebody and I lose. Because it's 2025. Calling the cops is just what people do. That's just what they do. Put your hands on somebody if you want to. Put your hands on somebody if you want to, man. And that's the end of it. Think about that next time you think of doing something stupid. Think about your children, your wife, them having to come visit you. And behind the internet, come on now. Stop, man. You gotta let that shit roll off your back. You gotta have thick skin. You got to have thick skin. Now, I'm not a person, when I first got on here, I wasn't a person that was used to the disrespect like that. I wasn't used to letting disrespect slide. But I learned real quick that this shit ain't never going nowhere but on YouTube. And for a lot of people, they just want to be heard. They say it for many different reasons. You know what I mean? People get butt hurt. There's a lot of clout chasers, a whole lot of dudes that just will say shit about you and refresh their YouTube nonstop, praying they got a response. Why would I respond? For what? Who are you? I'm happy. I'm happy. You mad? I don't want to be mad. I'm not here to play games. Go get you a PlayStation. Mark said, one man murked 2 YouTubers in Vegas. Shaking my head, crazy. Well, I seen that. And this shit can get real. I'm not going to say there ain't some people on here that don't talk shit that aren't really active or that won't, pop out. I 100% know for a fact there is people that'll pop out. You know what I mean? And if that's what happens, that's what happens. But to entertain it, in my idea, is just, in my opinion, it's stupid, man. It's all the way dumb. Sean 625, have a good night, J.A. Salute, man. Brittany Carl, send a love from NorCal, JIM Entertain. Hey, thank you, man. Salute. So don't give haters and trolls satisfaction knowing they get to you because it's exactly what they want. That's a fact. And there's levels to this shit, right? There's levels to it. Tell me one good reason I would beef with somebody on the internet that has nothing to lose and everything to gain by me beefing with them, right? And I have nothing to gain by beefing with them. Me beefing with them is their wet dream. That's going to get the numbers up. People are going to watch. I mention them and their subscribers go up. Their views go up. Why would I do that? That makes absolutely no sense. Dogs are snapping out outside. Win a petty argument, lose your freedom. Facts. Facts, man. You try to explain to your kids why you got locked up and see if there's any reason you can give them that's going to stop them tears from flowing at night when they miss you. Once you get in that cell, next to defending the people you love, justify it. Make it make sense. You said I had to give you a career, destroy facts. If I want to destroy you, I'm not gonna destroy you. And say I did, right? I don't play them games. Me and Krupp had this conversation earlier, right? I'm not the guy that gets on here and beats on YouTube. I'm not the guy that gets on here and just bashes people on YouTube. The only person I really don't like from social media, like really can't stand, would probably be Adam 22. I can't stand Adam 22, right? Like if there was ever a chance to, hey, y'all can get in the ring, I'd love it. It would be great. I don't know what it is about the dude. Gives me weird vibes. Like facts, that dude gives me weird vibes. I've been around dudes like him that had crazy charges, and I get all that from him. Like anybody that let somebody smash their wife like that is a weird dude, man. Like you got shit going on that's not normal. But outside of just, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. If I do want to destroy you, I'm not gonna destroy you when you ain't got nothing. What do I gain from that? I'll wait till you get everything. I'll wait till you're on top of the world and the sun is shining and you're like, this is my moment. Yeah. And then tear that shit down. That's how you do that. You don't, why would I kick over your box when I can tear down your mansion? But like I said, we ain't on that type of time around here, man. We ain't on that type of time around here. Quinn Glenn says, salute Jay from Philly. I can't stand Adam 22. And I'm not gonna make 100 videos about it. You know what I mean? 100 videos about the dude because people watch. The difference between me and a lot of these dudes is I ain't gotta mention other people. I ain't got to put nobody famous in my thumbnail or nobody that's trending on YouTube in my videos. And that's not no shots at nobody. So I don't need nobody thinking I'm talking about them. That's just me personally. I never been into that type of thing. Some people have fun doing that shit. You know what I mean? I got homeboys that do YouTube and they get off on it. They love doing that type of shit. It's just not my thing. What's your view on 1090 Jake? I have a lot of views on 1090 Jake. I think he's great at what he does. I think there's no denying that. I think he chiseled out his own lane and made a career out of it. But I think like a lot of YouTubers, he made a lot of mistakes along the way. I don't know him personally, so I can't talk on him personally, but I can say he made a lot of mistakes along the way. That's for sure. Made a lot of enemies along the way, made a lot of money along the way. And he was able, just like I said earlier, he was able to take something that most people could only dream of and turn it into a career. From ashy to classy, you know? But I ain't never had no problems with the dude. Adam 22, he puts a lot of his life on display and it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. And I've seen this time and time again. Y'all know Lil Pump, right? The rapper, the SoundCloud rapper dude. Had said that Adam 22 went on tour with him. It's all over the internet. It's been on there for a while. And was sleeping with underage girls, right? He's telling the world this. Nobody fall back. He had I want to say he was with Columbia when he first started doing all this. And they dropped him. There's been all types of allegations about this dude and underage girls. And when it comes to, am I going to go do this interview or are my morals intact? Because you can't, for the majority of people, you can't say that. I'm not gonna say everybody knows, but a lot of people know, man, and they're still rocking with this dude. And this dude's weird. Like he's weird. He's very, very weird. Like, so you gonna smash my wife and then me and her gonna watch the video together? Oh hell no, I'm gonna be on court TV. Not me. Not me. We're gonna be on divorce court and they can watch it together. Like, yo, what? Come on, man. Stop. Mike Zimmerman, did you feel guilty leaving prison? Because I heard some do because the friends they made. Guilty, no. Bad, yes. Yeah, like when I transferred from Greensville, and I've been up there for so long, man, like almost 8 years. And on the day that I had to pack up and leave, I found out the day before. Usually you don't find out until the day before because you got to pack your property, right? You take over the property, they box it all up. And at that point, you would tote one box with you and you tote your TV. You got the black box on. They throw your box on the back of the transport van or on the bus, whatever you got on. But I remember when I left there, I had made friends with some good guys that were never going home again. And I knew that when I walked off from there, then I would communicate with them again, and I do. I keep up with these dudes to this day, but I knew that I would never see them again. The prison's not gonna let me go in and visit them. You know, it's good that we got the video visits now because I can do it that way. But as far as like ever kicking it and having a conversation again, that was dead. I felt bad about that. But like going home, oh no, hell no. When I left on my biggest bid, dudes was trying to dap me up. All right, Jay. No, we're not doing no more dap ups, man. Ain't no more hugs. Like, no, I've been dapping dudes up for 10 years. No, I'm out, man. Like, I don't want to leave, but I gotta go right now. Like, get the fuck out of here. Move, man. You are holding me up. We are dapped out. No, I'm gone. No, I did not feel guilty. I felt ready to go. Ready to go. Gotta back up some of these comments. Have you ever been in a prison that you felt was haunted? Yeah, Greensville. I told you I did time on the lower 5. I kept showing my ass in the hole, 2007. Like, kept showing my ass, man, acting out. I hit the guard with the dookie Glock. If you don't know what that is, it's all bad. It's a little pouch full of just all the worst, right? In a little plastic pouch mixed with sour milk. So they ended up throwing me on the lower 5, which was the old death row wing. And the wing was closed. There was nobody down there but me. But it still didn't change the fact that while I was down there, I heard people talk. I heard people coughing. I heard shit that you can't explain because wasn't nobody else down there. People walking down the tier, you know, and I go to the door real quick thinking I got somebody to talk to. Yeah, they done brought somebody else in here. There's nobody there. Here's somebody coughing in the middle of the night. And I'm talking to him. Hey, what cell you in? I know you down here, you coughing. And this ain't coming. This ain't GP. This is the hole. So I'm not hearing anything coming from a vent. That's not what this is. This is feet and feet and feet of concrete separating me from the people above me. You're not hearing anything up there. I can't even hear them flush their toilet. Like, this is death row where you can't communicate with anybody but other inmates that are on this tier. You can't hear anything. But yet I would still hear it every single night. To the point I was like really convinced that I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. Then and that cell I had been in, I don't know if I shared this story, but there was a bunch of writing on the wall. Like, some of it was really racist. Some of it was shit to like make you like you think. Some of it was just crazy. And halfway through reading this stuff on this wall, I started to realize that the stuff I was reading was written by dead men. Because these guys were legitimately writing their full name, and they were writing the day they were born / with the day they were gonna die. You know how creepy that's gotta be? To know when you're gonna die, to know when your death date is, and to be back there waiting. Crazy. I ended up looking up a bunch of these dudes when I got out. And while I was at Greensville, there was a lot of executions. A lot. And where my cell was in 7 build, it faced out to the rec yard in the back of 10 build. And that's where they took men in to execute them. So I watched many men walk through them gates and come out on a gurney. I've never seen one go in, walk out. Never, not once. But if you look up, you Google executions at Greensville Correctional Center between 2005 and 2012, I was there for every one of those. Every single one of them. And watched every single one of those men walk in and come out on a gurney. Every last one of them. Not one I missed. Do I miss any prison food? Hell no. Hell no. Hell to the nah. To the no. How many times I've been put in the chair? 3 times. That one time where they left me in the hallway, but I've had other situations where I came in. They got to the point where they would strip sell me. They would just like rubber room me. When I would snap out or I would just be belligerent, man, they'd have me in that joint butt ball naked, trying to get me to calm down. Because once you start to get cold, like intake in most jails, when you come into intake in most jails, they're cold as hell. Like they keep it cold to fight the germs. So strip all your clothes off and get in there. There's not a single spot in there that when you lay your skin against it to try to get comfy and lay down that's not cold. That should have sober your thinking up real quick and you'll stop spazzing out. But I've been put in the chair in 2 other situations. One was just like that. I was flipping out and booking. There's another dude in there I didn't like. We was going back and forth. And there was a guard in there that I knew. And I was like, come on, man, just put me in just move me into the cell with him. 30 seconds, y'all can come in there, rough me up, do whatever you got to do. 30 seconds, right? So he says no. So then I turn on him. You a bitch. I start running my mouth, right? Fuck boy shit. So now me and him are in it. And I'm telling him, I'm arguing with this guard. I'm no longer thinking about dude. I'm like, when I come out the cell, I'm going to bust your shit. Like straight up, I'm going to bust your shit. Oh, you threatening me? I said, I'm not threatening you. I'm telling you, I'm going to bust your shit when I come out the cell, right? Yeah, okay. So he's standing on the other side of the bars and he says something and I do something I hate, right? Don't ever do this. Don't ever spit on nobody. It's the most disrespectful, messed up shit you can do. Like you need all these just cleared out your mouth. You spit on somebody for an unprovoked reason. So I spit on dude, right? He said, I got something for you. I said, well, bring it in. What you got? Man, I'm looking down the hallway. I see that door open at the end on the left, and I see him push that chair out with a spit mask. I said, oh, but you can't give in now because you're going in the chair either way. Don't matter, your ass going in the chair. So what I do, I try to turn up. They come in, they come up with the camera, record the whole thing. They rush in. I try to rumble with them. Boom. They get me to the ground, put my ass in the chair, wheel me back down the hallway, and just leave me sitting there. Yeah. I like answering questions, man. Wick Bobby said, did you still feel like you were locked up even after you were released since you were there for so long, like mentally? It took a lot of adjusting. After doing a decade in prison to just adapt. I always was in a rush. You know what I mean? Everything in prison is a rush. You go to chow, it's a rush. You get in the shower, it's a rush. You go to visit, you get rushed. So I was always like rushing. Everywhere I went, I'm rushing. I walk fast. I remember having anxiety. I see, even to this day, I don't like to be in large crowds. If I am in a large crowd, I like to find a wall to put my back against, or I'm automatically looking like at gauging who's around me and quick exits in case shit goes bad. There was a lot that I had to deal with. I had to stop taking things so personal. You know, and prison's very big on pride. Everybody's macho, and the littlest thing will get you into something with somebody. It can be a TV remote. Who's ever rumbled over a TV remote in the real world? But I had to really learn to like swallow my pride when I got home and realize that everything, you know, every fight ain't a battle and every battle ain't a war. But yeah, I was all the way state struck when I first came out. I'm talking. I remember going to my mom's house and I used the bathroom. Like I'm on the toilet. And I'm so used to, and a lot of people will say, Cap, he's lying. Like, this is a fact. I was so used to not having privacy or having a door to close that my mom's in the middle of doing a barbecue for me today. I come home. We got family and stuff over there. And that's, you know, I've been eating processed food. Stomach's messed up. Remember Smokey stomach got the rumbling on Friday? Oh, stomach gets the rumbling, right? Oh, I take off to the bathroom. My mama comes down the hallway and she looks over at me. She's like, what are you doing? I said, what's it look like? I'm using the bathroom. She's like, shut the door. She had to close the door. I've been so used to using the bathroom in front of somebody, I wasn't even focused on closing doors. Sitting with my arm. Another thing I used to do is I used to cuff my food, right? Like I would legitimately take my arm and put it around my plate. Like put it around my plate and took my head down, like to look up at people. And I remember I did it at my mom's house and I said, can I get another tray after this? She said, you mean you want another plate? And I said, yeah, I'm sorry. Can I get another plate? And she was like, yeah. And she made me another plate. She sat it down and she was like, you don't have to go. Why do you have your arm around your food? I'm sitting there like literally like this. I'm like, I said, it's this force of habit. Well, so Erickson said Navy SEALs have to be desensitized to go back into society. Sounds familiar. You know, that's crazy. I was locked up with these dudes, man. These Muslim dudes that were responsible for the 2 Navy SEALs that I think it was 2023, they lost their lives boarding that boat that was headed to Yemen. I was locked up with them dudes at Pamunkey Regional. And I didn't know all the specifics on the case, but you can look it up. 2 Navy SEALs lose their life boarding boat. I read up the details, man, and that was just the saddest thing. They showed the people, the men's families and whatnot, and like, my heart, like, man. And this dude's just in jail, just smiling. I think they ended up coming to an agreement, but as far as I've seen on the internet, I can't find out how much time they got. Tanya said, who was the youngest inmate you ever met? When I hit Indian Creek, they had the YO program, which is youthful offender, right? And with the youthful offenders, them youngins was wild. And I'm talking, we had boys in there at that point that were 14 years old, walking amongst grown men. You know, there was a couple dudes that I took a dude named Chris under my wing. I want to say Chris was maybe 15 years old, and the gangs tried to latch on to him, and I seen who he was walking with and who he was chilling with. And he was a good-ass kid, man. He was a really, really good kid, but he was like easily influenced. Like he's a monkey see, monkey do type of dude. Like he's gonna do what everybody else is doing. And I remember working out, and I would sit up on the bench, middle of summertime, sweaty as hell, and I watch him walk the track with these little gang member dudes. And all I could think is they're going to destroy this little dude. He's got a chance at going home early. He don't have to be in here all these years. He can complete this program. And at this point, he had been in there like 6 months. He can complete this program in 18 months and go home to his family. He had talked to me about his brothers and sisters, his mom, how much he loved them. I'd see them come see him in the visit room. This dude is just a kid. He's 15. And I remember him walking the track, and it just, the more I watched him do it, and I try to stay out of other people's business, but I felt with that situation, him being so young, that I wish somebody would have stepped forward for me back in the day and be like, young, come here and do this, man. Don't do that. Don't follow them guys. You're gonna ruin your life, end up in prison. I'm not gonna say I didn't have that. I had a couple people here and there in my life that would tell me that's what you're doing is bad. You know what I mean? You end up in trouble, but that's about where they drew the line. But I remember taking Chris and pulling up on him one day, and I was like, walk with me, man. And we get to walk, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing with the gang dudes, man? And he's telling me what they're saying, and this and this and this, and they want him to do this. I said, no. Look, man, I'm going to get you home to your family. True story. I said, I'm going to get you home to your family. We're going to get you home to your family. You're not going to get home to your family. You start gangbanging. You're going to run your time up. You're going to be in here until you're 24 years old. You're 15, man. I took this dude, started working out with him. The little gang dude, seeing that he was no longer kicking it with them, they would look over every day, and I'd have this boy. He was a little chubby boy at first. I'd have him doing pull-ups, push-ups, got him on the weight bench, got him on a workout routine, and the kid went home. I felt great about that. The day he told me, man, they gave me my walking papers, Jay. I'm going home, man. My mama will be here. My release date is such and such. My mama, my brothers and sisters, them will be here to pick me up. Like, that was an amazing feeling, man. To give a mother back her child. That was an amazing feeling. But to answer your question, young. He was young, and I knew there was kids that were 14, and they probably had some younger. What was the funniest that's your ass moment when it comes to thieves getting caught in prison? I remember dude coming out of his cell. Like, caught him coming out of his cell with his tobacco, and he tried to run down the tier, and he chased this dude and just punished him. And the dude tried to throw the tobacco, like if he threw it, he would no longer get his ass whooped, or if he threw it, it didn't mean he stole it. That was stupid, because when he went in the cell, somebody's always watching you. We watched him go in the cell, and then we looked over and seen dude come down the tier. I walk in the cell, and as soon as he come out, he caught him. Boom! Like, come on, man. You were the worst thief ever. Brad Cohen, that young and adult prison. Well, it was a program. The place I was at the very end of my sentence, man. They sent me to this behavioral modification shit, right? So, like, if you're just a repeat offender, you're somebody who's been in and out of the system your whole life, they started trying to do this shit called behavioral modification. Trying to figure out why your brain ticks the way it ticks, why you do the things you do, right? And they sent me there. But this place also has a building that is designated to nothing but juveniles. Most of these kids have been they've sentenced to juvenile life, which is anywhere between at the age of 21 or 24, they can go home. But the court sent them to this place for this program, for this useful offender program. And you can finish this program and you can go home. But if you do not complete the program, if you mess up the program, not only are you going to complete your sentence, like your full sentence, but you're going to be shipped from here and put on a mainline yard somewhere where there's not a bunch of juveniles running around. You know what I mean? This place, it had its moments. A lot of shit popped off there, but not like once you start getting up at those higher levels. You know, ain't it? People talking about I was on this prison. Nobody wanted to be there. Get that right. That shit is not a bragging right. Like, nobody wanted to be there. If they came in tomorrow and say, anybody here want to go to a level 2? You go to a level 5. Anybody want to go to level 4? Everybody's hand will go up. Everybody level 4. Anybody want to go to level 3? Everybody's hand will go up. Nobody's there because they want to be there. But these youngins, if they flunked out of the program, that's where they're going. And shit's going to get real bad there. Because there is no program there. And the guards would try to look out for the youngins. But the youngins, they were their biggest enemies. You got boys 14, 15, 16 years old, gangbanging 90 miles an hour, already locked up. Don't give a shit about nothing. Didn't want to do this program. Prepared to do until the age of 24. Like, shit gets real. I know my neighbors hate me right now. Them dogs been barking for an hour. Easy. Tim Jones said, what percentage of the population was affiliated with gangs? You were never in one? Did you ever get pressed to join? I would say 65, 70% are in a gang. I've been approached. I've never been pressured. I've been approached by a bunch of different organizations. But I think, you know, I never felt the need, man. I don't like people enough to join no gang. Let's be real. And I have authority issues. So I'm not going to do well with another dude telling me what I can and can't do because that's gang rules. And my whole entire life, man, it's always been me. It's been me. Never had nobody to handle my beefs or that was going to take care of me or what I had going on. I always had to do that. And then you get to a certain point in life, it's like, I go join a gang, all that was for nothing. Jay, with you and your dad being violent, do you worry either of your boys will have it in them? No. Because violence isn't displayed in front of my children. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody who displays violence, period. But my kids have never witnessed any type of violence. That goes for my oldest son and my youngest son and Bella. They don't see violence. I became violent for a bunch of different reasons. Violence was an everyday part of my life. It was the scariest place that I would ever visit or go to would be my own home. Violence was just other kids got hugs, we got hit, you know? And that's what ultimately kind of molded me into who I became. I became very, very angry. When somebody's hitting you and you know that like there's gonna come a time I'm gonna beat your ass for what you're doing to me. But those years and you're just a little kid and it takes forever, you gotta continuously endure it, it makes you really angry. So then you start lashing out. You get into it with another kid and you give another child something that don't belong to them. I remember getting to fighting and thinking about my dad and thinking about other things that made me mad. And that shit would just motivate me and I'd end up giving somebody something that didn't belong to them. But I don't think, in my opinion, I think that's a learned behavior. I don't think that the tendency to violence or violence in general is just You're born with it. I think it's the things you go through, the things you witness, and the things that happen to you that ultimately curve you in that direction, man. What else y'all got? Said Jacob Mullex, bro, I swear it's a different hat every time. I don't think I've ever seen Jay wear the same hat. And I get duplicates. Y'all need to understand that. I get duplicates of hats. Blue Raiders hats, red Raiders hats. I'm looking at two right in front of me. Like, I buy the same hat and I'll buy another one because they're seasonal. Like, hold on. Find other Blue Raiders hat. A lot of hats. I might not be able to find a lot of hats. But it's no cap. I buy duplicates. Like a lot of hats. These are my hairstyles. KD, what's the most money you've seen guys bring home off getting the pack in prison? Is it true that people come home with a big stack of cash? I've seen this go around alone. I've seen dudes run the bag all the way up with the Suboxone. When I mean run it up, like, I want you to do the math, right? If you know what Suboxone is and how small it is and thin it is, I know at least 3 different dudes that were getting anywhere from 50 to 100 of these things a week, right? And they were going for $100 a piece. And in a week, all 100 of them are gone. You do the math. What's 100 times 100? And they're doing that every week, 4 times a month, 52 weeks out of the year. You do the math. A lot of money, man. I've seen dudes with the prison hustle buy their baby mama's Range Rovers, and that's no cap. Range Rovers, pay all the bills from inside of there, come out with triple what the average American has in their pocket because, let's face it, penitentiaries are packed with addicts. There are guys that weren't addicts to go to prison and they want to escape their reality, so they start getting high. Inflation's a mother, but where there's a will, there's a way. Don't go there trying to, stick to your day job, but as far as making money off contraband and illegal shit in prison's one of the few places where you could take something that's on the streets and mark it up by 10, 20 times, and you're going to sell out as fast as you can get it. And with Cash App, Venmo, things like that being out now, shit, it's instant. Ain't no more, well, when my people say the money shows up or they get the check or they get up with your people, we'll handle business. Now all somebody's got to do is get on the phone. Dude gets on the phone or gets on the cell phone, calls, hey, this Cash App came in. Yeah, boom, transaction's done. Dudes are getting so much. I'm not going to say his name, but we had one dude that I was with that had got so much money sent to him in such a short amount of time that Cash App closed his account for fraud activity. Fraud activity, because they're like, there's no way you're getting this amount of money and this many people sending you money and it's not a business account. You're trying to run it as a personal account so you don't have to pay taxes on it. I've seen accounts get closed behind the amount of money was coming in. Kelly Gainey say, Jay, if I send you, and I don't know how to say that first word, Swamp Pat, would you wear it? Octopus Red Wave, yeah, send it. Hit me on Instagram or shoot me an email at jletslivelife@gmail.com. And absolutely, I know where you can send it. How do they get all the drugs in? Is it just creative methods, or are there guards on the payroll turning the blind eye? All of that. All of that. All of that. every way you could think about since the beginning of time. But now it's a lot more. There's a lot more. I've been watching these videos. There's one YouTube channel. I wish I'd remember the name. And this dude is currently locked up, right? And he's recording his day-to-day life. And this is in like another country. I don't know if it's in the UK or where it's at. But he records his day-to-day life with a cell phone, right? And he's literally out there and he's watching the drone drop the package. I've seen one where he goes out in the rec yard and it's nighttime and there's a building right there, like a wall. And he takes a water bottle and he throws it over the fence. That's the signal to whoever's on the other side of the wall that when this water bottle comes over, start throwing stuff. And he's got his other homeboy, his homeboy's on the radio, on the phone, and he's talking to the dude. Next thing you know, you see the packages start coming over the fence. And he's telling him, hey, that one went to the left, throw him to the right a little bit, throw him to the right a little bit. And they're throwing, I'm talking softball packages over the fence. Like, people going, where there's a will, there's a way. If you want to do wrong, you're going to do wrong. But the same thing goes to doing right. If you want to do right, you're going to do right. Jacob said, as a Marine that used to listen to your videos for years, you actually motivated me to become a police officer to change the bad stigma they have with civilians. Much love, Jay. Salute. Hey, and thank you for your service. Be one of the good guys. Be one of the good guys, man. So much has happened in the past few years that, remember you was a kid? There wasn't nothing wrong when you was a kid if they said, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a cop. I want to be a firefighter. There was nothing wrong with that. But then over time, it became a thing where people no longer respected the police. They feared them. Like they legitimately started to fear the police. And all respect went out the window. Social media brought forth a lot more of what we already knew was going on. You had the Rodney King stuff. But back in the day, like to catch the police doing something on video was really, really hard to do. Like that's a fact. They were getting away with so much. Well, now you got everything. Everybody's got a cell phone, so everybody's got a camera. Then you got Ring doorbell cameras, Blink cameras. Like you ain't gonna do shit in today's world and not get caught on some type of a camera, not outside your house, right? So the past few years have made it to where law enforcement's not a job people want no more. And I have no beef with cops. You know what I mean? I can't be mad at the cops because my dumb ass gets out there and gets myself locked up. But with the correctional officer, it was the same thing. Like nobody wanted to be a correctional officer no more. Now prisons are filled up with Nigerians. There is a Nigerian base camp somewhere here in Virginia with 1,000 correctional officers living there. Because I kid you not, the last place I was at and the place before that was straight Nigerians. So do right, man. Do right. It says pronounced Oki, Finn Oki. Okay. Jeff Fentram said, and I agree with this to a degree. He said, when you're doing bad shit, you should fear the popo. Most of these folks have issues with them because they have issues. Let's be real here. That's a fact. But at the same time, I think it was right after weed was legalized in Virginia, right? I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. Right after weed got legalized in Virginia, I said, shit, I can smoke again. You know what I mean? Like, I've been waiting on this. And I would take weed, like breaks from smoking weed. Because my tolerance is just crazy. Like I'm not gonna just keep spending money on tree, and I'm not getting gas like that. So they legalized it. Cool. So I got an ounce. Me and my wife get a call one night. We leave. We're going somewhere, like date night. And instead of taking my car, we take her car. My car is set that if it's dark, the lights automatically come on. Her car, when it's dark, the running lights come on, but you still gotta manually turn them on. And it's a newer car, right? So we get in the car. I was telling Krupp this earlier. Anytime we're leaving out, or I'm in some type of rush and we're going out the door, I'll just throw everything in my front pockets and then sort it out when I get in the car. Keys, vape, trees, wallet. So my wallet's in my front left pocket, and I shove this zip of weed on top of it. So boom, we pull out the driveway, we get out on the main road, and I'm driving, and I see this cop falling behind me. I ain't done shit wrong. I got driver's license, proof of registration, insurance, everything I'm supposed to have. I don't have anything in the car but this tree that is now legal in this state, right? I see that cop fall behind me, and it still happens to this day. My heart sank. I'm not a criminal. I'm not out committing crimes, but there's a cop behind me now. My heart sank. So I'm looking, sure enough, boom, he turns the lights on. Here's the crazy part about how much these cops pull people over here. They pull me, and there's a bank on my right before I get to the interstate. I pull into the parking lot of this bank with this cop pulling me, and I pull up behind a cop that's got somebody else pulled, right? True story. This is off of Hall Street. We call it the Gauntlet. The cop gets out, and he's walking towards the car, and I look at my wife, and I said, I'm about to take off. And she said, what? I said, I'm about to take off. My mind instantly went to run. And she's like, Jay, but you ain't doing nothing wrong. Like, and I said, she's like, what are you, stupid or something? And I said, no, I'm not going nowhere, man. I'm just talking out loud. Cop comes up to the window. I roll the window down. I look at him. Driver's license, registration, proof of insurance. I said, cool, no problem. So I give him the proof of insurance. I give him the registration. Now I've got to dig past this ounce of weed in my pocket to get to my wallet. There's no way I'm going to pull. And he's got the light shined in the car, right? There's no way I'm going to pull this wallet out without the sack coming out. So I said, man, I looked at my wife like, and she's looking at me like, what are you doing? Get the man your wallet. I pull the sack out, lay it on my lap. I go through my wallet. I give him my driver's license. He shines the light in my lap. And now the first thing I'm thinking is he sees the weed. He's going to want to search the car, tear my shit up on the side of the road. The man legitly took my driver's license, ran it, came back and said, hey, you didn't have your headlights on, man. Make sure you have your headlights on. Be safe out there. Have a good night. But it just goes to show you the mentality. I hadn't done nothing wrong. I wasn't doing anything wrong. But because of the life I had led and the situations I had in the past, my initial thought was, man, get up out of here. Take off. Take off. SNA Jerry said, tuning in from South Africa, man. Much love to you in South Africa. We're worlds apart. Remember, man, that got his Timberlands taken in the shower? Yeah, I do. I wonder if he took them or still incarcerated and have the boots. But for the longest time, we could send our boots back. And then the inmates just got to where they messed it up, man. Just everybody took advantage of it. We like cut the stitching and get them sent back. But if I had to guess, if he still had his boots, yeah, his boots ain't going nowhere. A lot of these dudes, I've met dudes that have had the same pair of Pro Timberlands in that bitch 15 years, but they stopped selling the Timberlands now. So if somebody's got them and you look at somebody's feet and you see them on it, see the boots on it, they automatically let you know he's been down a long time. And dudes want people to know that. They want you to know when you look at them, hey, I've been here a long time. You know what I mean? It's like a rite of passage. Some dudes, when you know somebody's been down 20, 25 years, you more or less, I'm not going to say walk around scared of him, but you kind of just let him do his own thing. He's earned that. He's one of the OGs in the prison as far as time goes. Do they get the strips or Suboxone inside or both? They're doing the strips. They're not gonna do the tablets. The tablets take up for what? One tablet, the size of one tablet, like one Suboxone tablet. You could fold 25 strips in half and it still not be as thick as a tablet. So nobody's gonna risk bringing tablets in when they can get these strips. And plus, not only that, the tablet's gonna pick up on the X-ray machine. When your people come through and they X-ray them, they're gonna see those tablets. The Suboxone strips it's a transparent film. It's gonna pass. It's gonna beat the scanner every time. So no, they're not bringing tablets in. But that don't mean that people don't bring stuff in like that. I've seen everything you could think of seeing. Y'all give me 1 second, man. My dogs are going crazy. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Let me get these dogs. on, George. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on, Nico. Come on, Nico. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here. Come on, get out of here. Sorry, they were going nuts, man. Say, I want to see the puppies. Come here, Kiki. Come here. That's Kiki. We've had Kiki 8 years. Come here, George. Georgie. It's her brother, and we got another little one that did not listen to me and is currently on the prowl outside. Y'all lay down. Lay down. All right, good. Lay down. Chill. Lay down. You said cute pups. I'm into more bigger dogs myself, but they still cute. Big dogs take big poops, man. Big dogs take big poops, and I'm not into cleaning up big poops, man. Do inmates have favorite guards? Yes, absolutely. And you have guards you don't like. You have some guards that come on you like, man, it's gonna be a good shift. They don't bother nobody. They're there to do their job. They're not looking to write nobody up. They turn their head on the other things that are going on. And believe it or not, things run so much smoother when a cool guard's on. So much smoother. But you get them top flight security of the world type guards in there, that's when chaos ensues. He said, when you said dogs, I was thinking 2 pit bulls or a boxer. We did all that. We got cats too. Adam said, do you like cats? I was never a cats fan. Like, I didn't really see the purpose of cats. I'm like, it does that weird shit where it sticks its back leg all the way up by its face and it's like licking it. But we have cats too. I ain't got no problem with cats, man. I'm an animal lover in general. I like animals in general. Yeah, come here. Come here, Church. Now I've got the door cracked so they'll all creep in. Said pit bulls are my favorite. Mine too, but pit bulls require a lot of attention. They require a lot of attention. And not only that, out here where I live, one of them dogs can get loose and they'll run forever. They're hard-headed dogs. They're great dogs. I love the breed. I've had more pits than I've had anything else. But I've got small kids too, right? Like small kids. And I'm not saying that the pits are going to do anything to them. But our last pit, Spice, she would just play with my son. She would jump up to play with him and she would scratch the shit out of him. You know, you got little kids, dogs want to jump and play, and I couldn't have that, you know? So I got little dogs, little yappy ass ankle biting dogs. Would you say being a CO is a relatively safe job for those guys who just do their job and don't try to make? No, it's not. It's safe until the moment. Dudes always mess the good COs up. Don't get it twisted. You can be a great CO and think that everybody rocks with you. And I can promise you, the first time that one of these dudes in here that's a little off in his head don't get his way, all the cool shit that CO did before that don't matter. It does not matter. You're going to be this, you're going to be that, you're going to be threatened. And that's what turns a lot of these COs into bad COs, is they come in trying to treat everybody fair and everybody accordingly. And all it takes is them getting disrespected time and time again. And the next thing you know, you can take him out the cool category and put him in the dickhead category, because now he's just going to treat us all the same. The inmates, man, they mess it up for dudes, man. Yeah, sound by the foot Ronnie said Spice is great. This is my homeboy. He has Spice. When I got locked up, this go around, Ronnie's a good friend of mine. He doesn't live far from me. When I got locked up this go around, Ronnie came and got Spice, and he has her to this day. Yeah, he's talking about the dog Spice. My son had a thing for Ice Spice, right? You know how Ice Spice is. So that's why he named the dog Spice after Ice Spice. Jay, what's the maddest you've ever been at a CO? Miss Robinson. We had a racist black female guard that kept shaking me down. And she would do stuff. I told this story. If you want to go back and catch it, I think it's Prison Racist, something like that was the name of the story. But this lady, she had it out for me. And I had never disrespected this woman. I had never came at her sideways. I had never done nothing to this lady to warrant her treating me the way she did, right? So she gets to a point where it was like almost every shift she came on. Soon as she came out of the control booth, she'd go grab another officer, and I'd see them coming across the pod with a trash bag, putting on the baseball gloves, right? Everybody already knew she's coming to my cell to shake me down. True, at the time I was tattooing 90 miles an hour, but I didn't tattoo on her shift. They knew when Miss Robinson came on, don't even stay away from my cell. Don't come over here asking for nothing, looking for nothing, because she's looking for a reason to come shake me down. Well, she came in one time, and she took all my family photos, and she threw them all on the floor. She's ripping them off the wall. I'm not talking about like taking them down. She's ripping them to where it's tearing my pictures in half, and I'm standing there in handcuffs, right? And as she's shaking my cell down, I look down, and all I see is a part of my mom's face sticking out from underneath this lady's boot. She's standing on pictures of my mother, of my kid, like, and just looking at me like, do something. That shit had me infuriated to the point that, like, I had to pray on it. Because I was not looking at her. I was looking at her as a guard. She became like the ops. Like, it's like, it was so bad. But I come to find out, one of my homeboys pushed up on her, went to the booth and got to talking to her. And he's like, oh, Jay's a good dude. Why you keep messing with this dude? And I found out her reason. I'm thinking she's super racist, right? I come to find out she was married to a white dude that treated her like shit and dogged her out, and I look like him. You never know what somebody else is going through, right? But I find out that this lady mistreated me the way she did because I remind her of her husband. Come here, Garfield. Your boy 634 said, much love, Jay. First time catching live in a minute. Been watching for years. Shit, we over 3 hours. You just got in. How long did you do this last bid? This last bid I was sentenced to a year. Tell one about escape attempts I've seen. I've done stories and all them, but I think the craziest one that I saw was the dude get hung upside down in the razor wire that tried to escape in the middle of the night. And hit the first fence, got caught in the second one. That one was crazy and sad at the same time. It was crazy because, well, rather than the guards trying to help him, this man's got this wire hung up all inside of his thigh. His whole leg is like wrapped up inside this wire, and he's dangling. So I can imagine the amount of pain he felt with 200 plus pounds being suspended in the middle of the air with razor wire wrapped around, dug into his leg. Like, every movement is just shredding you. But what was really sad about it is, A, he didn't have that much longer before he goes home. He just snapped out and decided to hit the fence. And B, rather than the guards like realizing how much pain he was in, he's screaming. Like the mixtures of the sirens. Before I heard the sirens, I heard the screaming. I heard the yelling. And I looked out the window and I see all these guards out there. What do you think the guards are doing as he's suspended in animation, hanging from his leg from a fence with razor wire wrapped around it? You think they're climbing, trying to get him down? They're cutting the wire. They're getting a ladder. No, you know what they're all doing? They're all standing out there with their phones, taking videos of him, taking pictures of him. It's Constantine wire. He said Garrison. I think it's Constantine wire is what it's called. My very first fight in prison was the day I got there. The day I arrived at Greensville, I got jumped. The same day I got there. My first experience on the rec yard, I got jumped. Zen the Man with the donation. What's up, J.A.? Saluting Zen the Man. Thank you. Tyler Jacobs said, fuck them street dude guards. Hey, they sometimes... Here's my thing when it comes to hiring guards. And people can agree or disagree. Number one, I do not think females should be guards. If I ever tell a story you've been watching since the beginning that I'm debating on telling, you'll understand why. You have men that get locked up that have crazy sicknesses, right? That prey on women and children, right? We all know this is a fact. You have men that are in there for other crimes that prey on women. We just don't know they prey on women. This guy could be a stone cold killer, but in the shadows, he preys on women, right? Why would you introduce a woman into an all men environment where there are men in there that are plotting and planning to attack, assault, do something really heinous the first chance they get? You're not going to let kids run around in prison with these guys that have been convicted of this stuff, but you're letting women. And that's not saying that a woman can't do a man's job. It's saying that it's not safe. You got this dude in here that has gone at woman after woman, has been convicted of doing these type of things to women. And at some point in prison, he's going to be alone with one of these female COs, or it could be a school teacher. It could be whatever, but he's going to be around a woman. And at this point, he has nothing to lose. So did female COs get violated much? Let me tell you this. I've seen dudes knock female guards out cold. I've seen two dudes get to fighting, knife fighting, and a dude had a poker one time and they had a bleach bottle and they were going at it. And the one dude was spraying the other dude with the bleach bottle and slicing at him with his box cutter. And the other dude that had the bleach on him was poking at him, right? And a guard got in between it. And they poked that woman up and sliced that woman up and like she was nothing. I've seen guards, female guards, get to arguing with male inmates, and these dudes will knock that woman out cold like she's another man. And you know what the inmate population sees? They don't see a woman getting knocked out. They see a guard getting knocked out. Sad but true. Didn't bro get a charge, but he was really trying to save the female guard? Yes, true indeed. Yeah, Solo of Greensville. And Solo had been there since he did what we call opened Greensville, right? He was there, one of the first buses to pull into Greensville. Everybody knew him. He'd been on maintenance longer than most men had been locked up. And him trying to stop another man from assaulting and attacking a female guard ended up getting him charged and shipped from a place that he had been at for almost 20 years. You say, AJ, my homie went to prison and he told me there was dudes with very bad charges being forced to be a boy on the yard, get pimped by the gangs. It happens. Dudes with the bad charges usually become somebody's property. Yeah, this is the fact too. I remember Jay told the story when the female guard getting tossed off the top tier. This lady goes into this dude's cell that really didn't bother nobody, not knowing they were doing toilet paper checks, right? If you can have 2 rolls of toilet paper max. That's it. So if they go in that closet, say an inmate says, hey, let me get a roll of toilet paper. And they go to that closet and that closet's empty and there's no toilet paper to pass out. They're going to send a guard through with a plastic bag and say, hey, go cell to cell. And anything over 2 rolls, take it. It's state issued. They have every right to take it, right? Dudes are hoard toilet paper. If you get 2 rolls last week and you don't use all them rolls, and this week You get another roll, you kind of stack it up. Who wants to run out of toilet paper? But they go in this dude's cell, he's dead asleep. And I don't know if he was all the way asleep, but I know he's in his bunk. And he used to keep his weed wrapped up inside the toilet paper, right? Like you could take toilet paper, unroll it, put something in the middle, and then roll it back up. Well, she comes in and he's got these extra rolls of toilet paper sitting there beside the toilet. That's where we stack them up, right next to the silver toilet. And she grabs them. Like she's reaching to grab this. Now, the stuff that's in this can catch this man a street charge. Not like, I mean, you've got a much worse charge. But before she even knew that she was in danger or that she had grabbed something that this dude was afraid of getting caught with, this man grabbed this woman by the back of her shirt, balled her hair up and grabbed her shirt in the back of her pants and ran her out the cell and just threw her off the tier. This lady hit the floor and it sounded like if you were to take like a chicken bone and take it and bite it and snap it. And that's what it sounded like when she hit the floor. All types of shit broke. She laid there screaming. You know, that could have been a dude, but it's even sadder when you see it happen to a female, man. Still catching those comments. Did you know anyone that went to federal prison and is any different from a state prison? I know a lot of guys that came from the feds. Usually out here, they'll make you do your federal sentence first. It depends on where you get convicted at. If you get sentenced to the feds and then your state sentence comes along, you get sentenced to the state. I've met dudes that showed up from the feds. And we have a saying when we're locked up, man, this shit's sweet like the feds. Not saying that the feds is sweet, but they have access to a lot more stuff than we do. You know, most of them big group pictures, you see a guys grouped up in big pictures. A lot of times that's the feds. A lot of states are cutting that out. But the feds is, I can't say if it's a smoother ride than the state, but I've never met a guy that came from the feds that said he would rather stay here. Every guy I've ever met that came from the feds said, man, I'd rather go back to the feds. The state's just different, man. It's just different. Did they ever try tricking you with a PDF file for a cellie? No, they know who they can put them dudes in a cell with. For the most part, they know who. If they put somebody like that in a cell with you and they know that you're not going to stand for it, they're trying to trick you up. They're trying to 100% trick you up. But no, I never had that issue. You come in, we don't check papers like that. When you come in, it's not no, where's your paper at? Pull your papers out of your ass. Let me see. That's not realistic over here, right? Like, but I'm gonna find out within the first day or so who you are, why you're in there, what your charges are, and we're gonna act accordingly from there. But I never had no situation where it's like, oh, this dude's a SO. Nah. Are you on any type of probation from your most recent bid? Yes. I'm currently on probation right now. I had to do probation I have to do probation the 5th of every month. And if they call me in between that. The nicest thing you ever witnessed a guard do for you or someone else. It wasn't a guard. I mean, I've seen guards do some nice things, right? I was down a long time. You know, I've had some guards do some cool shit, but I had a boss when I worked maintenance in prison, right? That knew my birthday was coming up. And I talked about my life. And I think I told him, like, prior to that, I'd only had 2 birthday cakes my entire life. Prior to going away at 24, I only could remember 2 times I had a birthday cake, right? And I told him that. And so we would often talk about his life. He lived not far from the prison we was in, right over the Virginia, North Carolina line. He lived in North Carolina. His wife was high up in the court system, like prosecutor status, if I remember right. And he was just a normal ass dude. He was a good dude, man. I really enjoyed working with the man and the stories he told me about his life. It made me really reflect on how shitty my life was. But they would bring their lunches in, right? And I remember it was my birthday, and it was 2009. And everybody, you know, they called movement. That means everybody goes back to their building. He told me, Jay, hang back real quick, hang back. And I said, what's up, man? I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was in trouble or something. Everybody left out in the maintenance shop. They're going through the metal detectors, going back to the building. He's like, I got something for you. And he had one of those little styrofoam containers, and he opened it up, and there was a piece of cake in there. And he was like, close the door real quick, eat your birthday cake. And that shit right there, like, in an environment where tears are forbidden, I damn near shed a tear just now. Were you ever locked up with Banky? Same joint? Yes. The story Banky told about getting caught with the cell phone, I watched that whole story take place. I watched them. My cell, I was in cell 20, and Banky was in cell 43 right above me. But he wasn't in there long. Banky's also one of those dudes, he's a convict. He knows how to move. He's not going to be all out in the day room. You know what I mean? Like, goes out in the yard, does his stuff, might talk to this dude or that dude. More or less, he stayed below the radar. But I remember when they caught Banky with his cell phone, it took me the longest time to remember where I knew Banky from. I'm looking at him. We talk. And then one day I'm talking to a homeboy of mine. He's like, you don't remember Banky got caught with the phone? And Banky was, next to Banky was a dude named Architect and a dude named Scooty B. They was in a cell next to Banky. They was in 42. Banky was in 43. And I remember seeing all these investigators come in. Everybody starts scrambling to their cell, right? You don't know who they're coming to shake down. And when the investigator comes in, shit's serious. Like, if they come in your cell, it's a 99.9% chance your ass is going to the hole because they know what they're looking for. So they come in. Come here, Clark. Come here. So they come in, and yeah, we do cats too. They come in and they get Banky and they bring him out the cell. Now I remember watching them search his cell. And then I remember watching them bring him down the staircase, and he's standing at the bottom of the staircase, which is literally right out front of my cell. I'm looking out, and Banky's maybe, from where I'm at, you can ask him, he's maybe 12 feet from my cell door. And I see them come down with a bunch of socks, and they start unrolling these socks, and they pulled his cell phone out. And that was the end of Banky Pound. Yes, I seen the luxury prison in Norway. Crazy. Crazy. I seen dude had a Jordan poster on his wall, had a kitchen in his cell. I got to get off. I got family sleeping. I'm enjoying myself. Hey, Wild Man trying to kill the counselor was next level insanity when you're locked up. You ain't really lived the prison experience until you have a man that you befriended, that you become cool with, that other inmates fear because he's pushing that blade. You know the end result of beefing with this man is going to be a hole in your body with either a very sharp or very blunt object. Either way, it's going to hurt like hell. You might lose your life. The healing process is going to be terrible. But I remember, first of all, him coming in with that damn samurai sword, which was like a 1 inch thick by probably quarter inch. It was 1 inch wide. No, probably it was 2 inches wide because it was a 2x2 angle iron they cut. And it was about a quarter inch thick. And this thing was 4.5 feet long with a handle on it, sharpened. He had a samurai sword. And then he had this other blade that was probably about 12 inches long. And they had just came in and they had implemented this thing where any money that came in, 10% automatically went into a savings to pay your court fines, right? Well, they started hitting the lifers with this stuff. These guys ain't never going home. They start hitting guys like Wild Man that think they're never getting out. So we get this new counselor. Not only is she taking lifers' money and putting it in the savings account to pay the court, like, I think if you've been given a life sentence, your debt to the court is paid. You should not have to worry about $500 restitution, $200 fine, right? But they take Wild Man, and the counselor's now, he goes up to see her about his release date. I think Wild Man's out. He had to have made parole. I know he's out for fact. My homeboy Dantron, shout out to Big Dantron, told me, like, I've seen Wild Man. I've rode with Wild Man. Like, Wild Man down there, Hopewell, running around with them tricks. Like, he out there messing with the women. That's what he does. He tricks. But he tells me, he says, Jay, I need to holler at you. Really aggressive, right? Big old black penitentiary glass mole on his forehead. I need to holler at you. I said, what's up, man? We go sit down, nobody else can hear us. He said, man, this bitch. And I look at him. Man, this bitch is messing with my release date, Jay. She messed with my release date. I said, who? The counselor. That new counselor bitch they got upstairs. I said, hey, what's she doing? So he gives me the rundown, and then he gives me the whole plan. He says, this is what I need you to do. He said, I just need you to get that. The way it's set up, you go up the staircase, you go to the end of the tier, and it's a metal door that only the guard and the control booth can open, right? And then you go to that metal door, there's a counselor's office, and there's a washer and dryer and the barber shop in there. And these are all different little rooms. He says, I need you. I'm going to give you a change of clothes, right? Listen to this now. This is crazy. I'm going to give you a change of clothes. And you go put that change of clothes right there. Can I full screen this? In that first shower. And you're going to wait. He said, you're going to get the door popped so I can get in there to the counselor lady. You're going to be back there with a door, but she'll never leave that door locked. Another reason women shouldn't work in prison. This lady don't know how close she came to losing her life. He says, I'm going to take the sword I got, and that's what I'm going to use to take her head off. He said, and I got this other one that I'm just going to use on the rest of her. And as he's telling me this, I'm just sitting there like in disbelief. I'm not even looking at him at this point. I'm just looking straight forward. He's talking to me from the side. And I'm thinking, I don't know what you got going in your head. I'm not doing none of this. Like, you got me messed up. I'm not doing none of this. First of all, that's a female. Second of all, she ain't never done nothing to me. Third of all, I'm going home. You know what I mean? Like, you got me messed up. I ain't never taken nobody's life. I damn sure ain't about to start helping you do it, crazy ass, right? So he says, I need you to get the door open. I'm gonna slide in. And I worked the maintenance job. We did, PM preventative maintenance on the elevator shaft. It's a 4-story building. There's 4 floors of this prison, and the guards would ride the elevator up and down. We had to use the staircase, right? No elevator for us. But working on maintenance, my job, I had to fix the elevator. There's a lot of different stuff I did. He said, after I do it, I'm going to drop the sword and the knife down the elevator shaft. And at the bottom of this elevator shaft, it was like a mixture of water from all the years of them mopping and just pushing the water over to the elevator, floor wax, and hydraulic grease. And every time the first time I serviced it, there was so many knives dropped down in there. Where dudes had dropped them, they use it, walk with the elevator shaft, push it, drop it down to the crack, right? He said, so after I take the lady's life, right, I'm gonna go to the elevator shaft and I'm gonna drop them down the elevator shaft. It's your job after that, somewhere down the line, to retrieve them and make them disappear. Not gonna happen. I'm not doing none of that. He said, so after I do it, I need you to get the control booth officer to open that door. Otherwise, he's trapped back there with what he just did. He said, I'm gonna slide into that first shower where you're gonna have my clothes waiting. I'm gonna change out the bloody clothes into the new clothes and send right off into the sunset, more or less. No, not happening. I said, well, man, I'm not helping you do none of that. Huh? And he looked at me like I'm dead ass wrong. I'm not helping you do none of that. Like, I'm not, you got, like, I'm in here for robbery and malicious wounding. Like, we are not the same. I don't just run around taking people. Like, no, not happening. So, yeah, there's a lot more. Wild Man is one of the few dudes I've seen base up on an entire gang and a pair of tight white, the dun Spider-Man slingshot underoos, like them grandpa oversized, dingy white underwear that just don't keep nothing snug. I watched that man come out with a brave heart. I'm talking about John Rambo knife, and tell them boys, y'all bang on that trash can one more time, and the first one that does it, I'm gonna cut your head off. And mean it. Are you talking about this? A whole bunch of young black dudes, and he's a black dude, gang members, gang banging, stabbing. Most of them got homicides. And they all looked at this man as he stood there in them tight white underwear and outside of his door in a pair of prison boots. All he had on was prison boots and tighty whities and a knife in his hand. And the dude that was beating on the trash can was like, ooh, shit. They pushed that trash can back up against that wall and left that shit. Them dudes went ahead with in their cell. You talking about a rack of gang members. Because they knew they was playing with a real one. They was playing with a dude that he ain't just trying to poke you. He's not just trying to cut you. His mission is to take your life. And that's a different type of evil, man. No doubt. He said, no shit. You on your own, wild man. Wild man, I ain't fucking with you, man. I'm not messing with you. Like you, no, No, that's not. Is that brother who beat his boy with a bat? That's a different story. The boy hitting his man with a bat. But Wild Man beat another dude. I want to say they were at Augusta, and his brother was killed on the streets. Wild Man's brother got shot and killed on the streets. And a dude comes to him and tells him, the man that killed your brother just showed up here, right? Listen to me now. Tells Wild Man, the man that killed your brother just showed up here. I've read the court, he got convicted on this and everything, right? I've read the motion discovery, the transcripts, all that. Just Wild Man, like, help me with my case. Help me. I'm not a dumb dude. I stayed in the law library. I know a good amount. I could help you write up something. I remember reading through it, and it said back then they used to let the inmates play the guards at softball, right? And it was inmates versus guards day. Dude comes and gets Wild Man and tells Wild Man, the dude that killed your brother just showed up here. Where is he? Points him out. Wild Man picks up and a look. I never understood this. And it's good because you're allowed to play sports. But the bat should be monitored. I don't think at any given moment, aluminum baseball bat should be laying on the yard where just Wild Man can walk and pick one up. His name's Wild Man. He picks this bat up, walks over to this unsuspecting man, and beats him to the point that he dents the bat. That was one of the biggest things the prosecutor said in the whole trial, is that this wasn't just aggressive, this was overboard. He dented the baseball bat with this man's skull. He turned that dude into pretty much from what he was to a child. Like messed him up mentally that bad. And he would go on to be sentenced only to find out that the man he attacked with the bat didn't do anything to his brother and had nothing to do with any of it. Wild Man was a nut. Do police officers who get convicted get special treatment from the guards? I've never done time with a cop that got convicted. I've heard of them, but they try to generally keep them out of the places I've been. They're not mixing them in with us. Jay, what do you think of Happy Gilmore 2? I like anything they put Adam Sandler in. But it's one of those things that the sequel almost never beats the original. How did he manage to get out after that? You tell me. You tell me. You tell me. Kane Loke said, what's up with the background music, Jay? Play some pocket something. You can't do that. This is YouTube. You can't play anything that somebody else has got rights to. This shit'll get taken down. Said the original was the bomb. Facts. I thought hey, he said, I thought that Wild Man died for some reason. I thought Wild Man died too. You know why I thought he died? Because when I pulled his name up, he didn't come up on the DOC registry. I said, ain't no way they let him out. He's got to be, a Wild Man had to have died. I can't find him in the system. He's no longer in prison, so he had to have died. And I thought that for the longest time. But when I moved into this house, when we got this house, my homeboy Dantron helped me move. Dantron was up there with me, right? And he watches my videos. He said, Jay, and by the way, Wild Man's not dead. I said, what you mean Wild Man ain't dead? He ain't in DOC. He said, man, Wild Man's out. Wild Man's out. Out where? Where? I would love to interview Wild Man. I would love to interview Wild Man. That'd be great if Dan trying to hit me up and say, yo, I located Wild Man. You want to interview him? Like, hell yeah, I want to interview Wild Man. And his name was very, very deserving. Was the best tattoo you've done and gotten, and from who? I liked all the work I did. Early on when I was learning the tattoo, I wasn't the greatest, but I liked all the tattoos I did. I like when I get like just free reign. I used to like when people would just like do your thing. And I would usually start off by asking them, just like finding out a little bit about them. And that lets me know what I'm gonna do with the tattoo. What are you in the streets? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do out there in the real world? One dude might be into one thing, so I'm gonna try to, if you're religious and you got this going on, I'm gonna try to incorporate all that. But some of my favorite, I've got a lot of favorite tattoos. I got little voodoo dolls tattooed on me throughout here, right? And every one of them little bitches represents somebody. But I've got a $100 bill all the way across my shoulder blades on the back that's got this crazy looking skeleton in it, right? And then it's got the serial number 187 B11, no, 187, I think it's 187 B2, something, it's a bunch of numbers we put together. And it's got nails like stuck into it. So it looks like the $100 bill is like kind of burnt up, ripped, and like nailed to the back of my shoulder blades, right? That's one of my favorites. Then on my rib cage, I've got a fallen angel, a big ass fallen angel that's down on his knees with his wings wrapped down around him, and his hair is kind of drooped down, and you can tell that he's just like, he's broken. I like my tattoos, man. I've got a huge scroll on the other side with a script from Proverbs that says, he who keeps his tongue keeps his mouth, keeps his life, but he that speaketh with loose lips shall have destruction, right? I mean, I can't really say that I dislike any of my tattoos. I got a lot of good work on me. A lot. I think it's 187 211 B12 or B2 is what I got as a serial number, something like that. Has people walked up to your video where I recording the video? Absolutely. I've had people walk to my car. I've been approached everywhere that you can think about when it comes to people knowing me from YouTube. I've been approached from Walmart, State Fair, like Virginia Beach, the mall. I get noticed a lot in the mall, gas stations. Like, it's pretty common. I've gotten used to it at this point. It's cool though. Look, we're on 3 hours and 33 minutes, man. It seems like it takes a great time to cut up out of here. Have you ever had a zesty cellmate? See, this is the problem. I want to get off, but I enjoy kicking it and talking. I had a trans, they put a trans dude in the cell with me one time. And before anybody thinks that like I'm homophobic or I got a problem with trans, that's a complete bullshit. Because I've legitly like, I have trans people in my family. And that's not like saying I work with a black guy or my neighbor's black. No, I have like trans people in my family that I hug and love, and they're my family. You know, people I know. But prison's a different world. You can't show that same respect in prison that you do out here in the real world. And you can't group up with those type of dudes or sell up with those type of dudes without other people thinking automatically thinking something. You're gonna be put in that category. If they put the boy in the cell with you and you allow him to stay in there, everybody's like, all right, he likes boys. I mean, that's what they're gonna think. So I remember I came back. I told this story too. And dude was legitimately had just gotten in the cell while I was going to visitation. I come in, as dude was shaving his titties in the mirror. And nah, yeah, bro, you got to go, man. And the craziest thing is, after we had our altercation, I threw his shit out the cell and whatnot. We get into it. I had so many dudes that wanted to kill me behind that shit. Man, we worked so hard to get the bitch moved down here. We did this, we did that. You just blah, 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 blah. Should have got her moved in your cell, man. Y'all knew better. Y'all knew better, man. But y'all didn't. They put him in any cell and y'all, no, hell no. Hell no. No. Eats a boy. Yeah. Eats a boy. Hell no. Have I ever been to Wilmington, North Carolina back in the day? Yes. Yeah, we used to go to a recording studio in Wilmington to do music back in the day. So we go from Virginia sometimes to go up there and record. But you got to think, I lived in North Carolina till the age of 12. All right, Brad Cohen, salute. Thank you for checking in, man. See, here's the thing with this, right? People get this big misconception. Thomas Van Eaton said, I have nothing against men wanting to be women. But if you try to mess around with me, I'm going to be like, thank you for the offer, but I'm good. Those guys aren't going as straight men. Them dudes ain't going as straight men. You know who plays baseball and who don't play baseball. You're not going to pick somebody. If you got a softball game, you're not going to pick somebody to play with you that don't play softball. You're going to pick softball players. Gay men ain't got to go after straight men. They got so many other dudes that are doing life sentences or come out the closet or just don't give a shit. They can't control their hormones. That they've literally got dudes knocking their cell door down. You got dudes trying to creep off all the time. They're not worried about no straight man. And for a gay man, that's the quickest way he can get himself in serious trouble is trying to come onto a straight man. Now, we had Big Dana, and Banky's talked about Big Dana. And the craziest part, I told Banky this, Big Dana was a different type of gay dude. Like Big Dana, yeah, he's going to do everything that a guy that tends to be a woman's going to do when it comes to that. But he also, here and there, had no problem of pulling a blade on somebody and taking it. And he didn't want the back. He wanted the front. Like, I'd heard many stories of Big Dana putting that blade and holding it up underneath puppet, like, I'll cut it off. You don't get, you know what I mean? Like, hold it to somebody and make them do stuff with him, or he's gonna push the blade in it. Like, literally got it pushing a sharp ass knife to their stomach as they're doing whatever they're doing. Like, Dana was a different monster. And now Dana's a Muslim. Dana has just, he's now Islam, like crazy. Big Dana. Next time y'all talk to Banky, ask Banky about Big Dana. See, look, Russell said that's not true. Well, I'm not talking about the free world. I'm talking about in prison. He said that is not true. I've been approached by more gay men than I would like to admit. Not in prison, obviously, but it's like a badge of honor for them to turn out a straight dude. They play games like that. Well, I've never, aside from that Nick Nolte looking ass dude I talked about on my channel that I got into it with, I talked about on Jay Williams, I'm still living life. I've never had nobody come at me like that. And that was my fault for being too drunk and not knowing what kind of club I was in. Big muscular ass women. I'm looking around like, man, these women look brolic as a bitch. Oh, dang. Chicks in here getting on. They kissing. They kiss. Oh, two dudes just kissed. What's going on? Then I get to looking at the women better. I'm like, that woman, she got some big ass butt. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Where am I at? Oh, Lord, help me. Where's the exit? But I ain't never had no issues like that in the street. And it might happen in the streets, but I can tell you now, gay dudes ain't just running up on straight dudes like that in the system. They're not. You don't judge no book by a cover in there. You do might look a certain way, but be a whole entire serial killer, like, and just be itching for a reason to carve somebody up. Nah, them dudes, they flock to their own. That's just prison in general. You're gonna go with people that are like you, man. But I appreciate the comment. Where did I live in North Carolina? Said H.W. Hunter. I grew up in Charlotte, and then we moved from Charlotte to Lincolnton, which is Henderson. And then from there, we moved to Virginia. But we lived all over Charlotte and Henderson. Sandra Howard says, my first time catching a live. I truly rock with your channel. You keep me highly entertained and engaged. Salute. Well, thank you for tapping in, Sandra. And that's my job. That's what we do around here. And this isn't. I watch a lot of other YouTubers, right, that do what I do. And a common thing with a lot of other channels is they'll have other people on, and that's cool. I like interacting with people too, and I still do that from time to time. But this isn't the easiest thing to do, to just sit and chop it up with the viewers hour after hour after hour with nobody else on camera, nothing going on. You're not reviewing nothing. You're just kind of vibing. But like I said, I enjoy it. It gives me a chance to meet y'all, get to know y'all better, and just interact, you know? Oh, you a Muslim now? Yeah, you know, Pac said it. Said you're from Charlotte. We used to live right down from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. There used to be a trailer park called Willingtown. Literally, like we could, like the walls would rattle when they would do the NASCAR stuff, right? But we used to live right beside there. We lived off Providence Road. I was real little then. So, I mean, there's a good chance, huh? I went to Mallard Creek Elementary out in Charlotte. Familiar with the area. I don't know if it's still out there. What was the best fight you ever seen in prison? I've seen a lot of good fights in prison. There's some fighters, man. Probably my homeboy Hook. I had a homeboy named Hook that he just made his fights almost look choreographed. He was so good at what he did that anytime he would call somebody out and accept, you automatically felt bad for the other guy. No matter how big he was, how strong he was, how fast he was. If you was fighting Hook, everybody already felt bad for you. Rock story was a classic story too. I didn't like Rock at all. Progressive Era said, "What's up, Jay? Been binge watching your channel recently. Keep up the dope content." Well, thank you. Phil Cosby, I think you and Pino would be a good collab, dude. For real, change his life too. Love both of you. I like Pino. I like seeing people win, man. A lot of people give Pino shit for some shit that happened when he was 19 years old, but I'm an everyday regular citizen, man. I'm a dad, I'm a father. He ain't out here committing no crimes. He's a dad, he's a father. We ain't gonna rob no bank together. But yeah, I got no problem with him, man. I like Pino. Jay, have you seen them slap competitions? What do you think about them? Reminds you about the story you told about the dope fiend. He took a hit for a hit. Yeah, that's just next level. Y'all seen the one where the one chick gets slapped and she gets slapped so hard when she turns her face back around, she looks like a different person? Hell no. Nah. What's your best advice? Number one thing you tell someone going to prison for the first time? Mind your business and don't borrow none. Don't owe nobody nothing. A debt is the quickest way to get you hurt. Do not owe anybody nothing and do not borrow nothing. Stacky Bar Treadway say, Jay, if you had to estimate just exact how many fitteds would you say you have all up in total? Realistically, 300 or better. 300 or better. I'm good for, on a slow month, 10 hats a month. 10 new hats in a slow month. Boy Kalito, would you ever do an interview of a woman who did a bid in prison? Absolutely. Absolutely. I got a whole lot of questions about women in prisons. Absolutely. Yo, Jay, you ever travel to Canada? Yeah, I did. And there was a short period I wasn't a convicted felon. And I was working with this company and we were doing resin epoxy floors. And we were working in upstate New York. And this was back in the 90s. And they weren't tripping. 9/11 hadn't happened yet. They were not tripping about people going into Canada. We literally drove into Canada in a work van. And we went to a strip club back then. I want to say it was called the Pink Flamingo. Like as soon as we crossed into Canada. And we got really, really trashed. The dude I was with, dude named Gerald, right? One of my coworkers got us put out, man. He goes to the stage and the girl is like dancing in front of him. And she bends over and is like doing what strippers do, right? And this dude leans forward to put his face up to her butt and had a cigarette hanging out his mouth and burnt the chick on her butt cheeks. And oh, they did not. That shit got bad real fast. She started screaming, "He burnt me with a cigarette!" And the bouncers are thinking that like he burnt her with a cigarette, but in reality, he had a cigarette hanging out his mouth and was trying to do some shove his face between the cheeks type thing. Hey, no, come on, stop. But he burnt her, and yeah, that was it. We was up out of there and up out of Canada quick, man. But now I can't get back in. Should have taken, a better. Should have done more while I had the chance. the other cat. And then there's the all black cat running right here too. They're all, we have 3 cats, but you also got to think our property's like, it's like 4.5 acres, right? And they'll come in and eat, and then we have a little doggy door, and they'll go back outside. So we don't see the animals. The cats just come in and eat and then disappear. HR Paper Stacks, what's up, my guy? Glad to see you in here. Jay, did you ever speak with your homeboy that got taken by a treetop after you got out? Salute. I saw him. I don't want to say much about the dude, but I saw him at a gas station around where he used to live. His people still live here in VA, still in Richmond. And I guess he was up here visiting his people, but from what he told me and what I've also heard is he moved out of state. He has a wife, he has kids. That story right there was rough to tell. And it's still kind of, it's hard to think about to this day, to be honest. Like, because I know that people can say what they want. Like, you can say what you want. It wouldn't happen to me. It ain't gonna happen to me. If you find yourself in a situation like that with somebody as big as what Treetop was, and he gets you in a cell and you don't have a way to defend yourself, that's what's going to happen. It's exactly whatever he wants to happen in that cell is what's going to happen. You can fight, you can scratch, you can claw, you can scream, you can beg, you can plead. But at the end of it all, whatever he decides to happen is in that cell. In that cell is going to happen. Dude say, well, this is my fault. He'd have to kill me. He will. He will. If that's the lengths it's got to go to for him to get what he's looking for, he will. And then he'll just continue to do what he was doing with your body. And dude's story was just that. I think the worst part of that story is that I saw it before it happened, if that makes sense. Like, I seen that whole shit about to play out. Because I knew, I've been here. I know what he does. I know who he is. Like, I know his reputation. I've seen other guys fall victim to him. And now it's somebody that I know, and I do everything in my power to try to, like, warn this dude in one ear and out the other. Just, he's that tough, man. And in the end, Treetop did what he wanted to do. Seth Mass, good night, Jay. Get back to your fam. Good night, bro. Thank you for checking in. I think so. Tatted up, GT tatted up, G tatted up TV. I got into it when I caught my robbery case. It was a bald-headed white cop, kind of stocky, had a slick ass mouth. I want to say that was Moore. And if it wasn't Moore, I want to say that's who Moore was, man. It was a white dude. You would know who he is, too. He's a plainclothes cop. You know what I mean? You'll never see him in uniform. I remember when I was going to court, he tried to get me to snap out. He'd be standing beside me in the courtroom, and he like covers his mouth. I was like, you ain't nothing but a little bitch. And I looked at him like he's trying to get me to snap out. Like, I come across a bunch of shitty cops. Philly's got some shitty cops out there. How long did I work with Barbie Doll? For a couple of years. Hey, Barbie Doll was dog, aka Barbie Doll from the story with Stacy. Barbie Doll was treacherous, but here's the thing. Barbie Doll had pretty much retired from all that type of shit until Sharon put Stacy's papers on the bulletin board and everybody found out why Stacy was in there. And damn, that's another one I wish that I could. If I ever had like that, the little Men in Black came and you did not see that. What you saw was 2 men playing a game of Twister in prison. And that's what I wish I could do. Like, that I could erase some of these memories. But I remember him telling, when I asked him, this is a 6'1" black man with a bald head that's just got a physique you can only acquire by doing a minimum of 20 years in prison. Like, he had his body looked like stabbing him might backfire. Like, you possibly might not get through his skin. His body was just that fit. He was that brolic. And then you want to talk about creepy. When I asked dude why they called him Barbie doll, and he told me, he said, "It ain't like this no more, Jay. I don't do this no more." He said, "But I used to get me a little white boy." He said, "I'll scoop him up under my wing and I'll hold him close." He said, "I'll pet him on the head before I do what I'm going to do to him, like a little Barbie doll." He said, "But times has changed now. They just run around giving it out." But yeah, that's how I got the name Barbie doll. I said, "Oh my fucking God, man. Mama, oh, I want to go home." This man that is a boy. Like, that's a man. You've been locked up too long. Nah, I don't think I came across some Tatted Up TV. Well, look, I got to tap up out of here, man. We are going up on 4 hours. Absolutely free Bill Feezy, man. But we're now, it is after 1 o'clock, man. That's way past, I know I'm 45 years old. Like, I got to get up out of here. I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for everybody that tapped in. Make sure y'all hit that like button real quick. I'm going to sit here and give y'all a minute or so. Hit that like button for y'all. Y'all roll up out of here. I think you just double tap the screen. You should see a little heart pop up, a little thumbs up pop up. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's go ahead and start that now. Run them lights up. Run them lights up. And I ain't asking for y'all for nothing, but just hit a little like button. Thank you to everybody that checked in tonight. Everybody that was here with me. See y'all getting, and I gotta get some sleep. I got a dope video coming for y'all today. Yeah, I'm gonna have fun with this one, man. I'm gonna have fun with this one. But once again, thank y'all. Another live stream with Jay Williams. Let's live life. But anyways, these jails, these streets, these prisons, crazy world inside of all the crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. Just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? Shout out to Blessings 19099. I think that's what it is. And as always, wait, 9 and 10. Excellent. And as always, shout out to all the real ones and the awesome real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. Y'all know how we do. Salute. Y'all be safe, man.
What I make you? Good? You're not good. You just know how to hide.